right, so I start today's show with a little dilemma. It's like, what should I have done? And then I just ran across something that if I didn't do this, that I would have been kind of SOL, bleep out of luck. So I get out of the house. I get out of the neighborhood. I'm on Kennedy. I'm getting ready to get onto the Howard Franklin Bridge. And for whatever reason, I got triggered, and I'm like, where's my cell phone? Left the cell phone at the freaking house. So what do? I'm already, 5-6 minutes into my trip away from the house. Do I just continue and say, you know what, I can do without my cell phone for the entire morning show? Or, what happens if something occurs on the way to the office and I need my cell phone? I just realized that logging into my Gmail on my laptop computer here in the studio, that I need the two. Did that just happen, everyone? The whole two-factor authentication. I never used to have that on my Gmail, and then it seems like in the last month or so that it's now pushing me and forcing me. I don't know if I turned that on or if that's some kind of a new security thing.
You could probably change that in settings.
Yeah, I'm sure you can. But, I have to use my cell phone. So I fired up my laptop, and then I brought up my Gmail because I keep my email up during the show because, I get crap and just open it up. But to sign in, it asks me to authenticate, so I get the push notification on my cell phone. Yes, it's me, and I click on that, and then it logs into my Gmail on my laptop. But if I would have come to the office, I would not have had my cell phone. So, I don't know, kids need to get a hold of me, Michelle needs to get a hold of me, whatever. I would not. So what should I have done? I'm not cranky, but I'm a little, it kind of busted my cadence this morning. It kind of screwed with my step. You know what I mean?
Did you have time to go back? Obviously, you weren't late to the show.
No. Because I'm here, about 30 minutes before you guys every day anyway. But today it kind of messed me up to the tune of about 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes back. And then, so I went back to the house and I knew exactly what I did. I came downstairs from, our master bedroom upstairs, and my shoes are down in the living room, and the doggies are on their little doggy beds. Got the little, those Kirkland little disc-shaped doggy beds. My mother-in-law bought those for the dogs. So, I'm not currently a Costco member because I only go to Costco 5 times a year. And if I'm in a stretch where I don't need to go, why should I get the clock going on my yearly membership? So I kind of wait until I need to go. So I've been expired from Costco membership since I think October. So I just haven't had a need. There are things that I want, but it's not like urgent pressing.
But you're saving up a big trip to start your membership again.
Exactly.
Kick off the year.
So I'm just kind of pushing it until I need it. So, but those little doggy beds at Costco, that's not something I would buy, but my mother-in-law bought them and the dogs love them.
That's what your mother-in-law is good for. I mean, you would never have bought yourself the gift certificate to Olive Garden. Your mother-in-law got it. Your mother-in-law got these dogs, these 2 awesome beds they use. Yes. She's a very thoughtful person.
Right. So the question is, should I have turned back and kind of messed up my schedule a little bit? That, listen, 10 minutes, I mean, to me, when you're dealing in seconds, 10 minutes kind of, and I'm a little delayed in laying out my material this morning because I've got a pattern. So the question is, and we're so tied to these cell phones, should I have turned around? Should I have, don't make me turn this car around? I know exactly what I did. And the reason why I brought up the dogs is because the dogs are downstairs, and I put my phone down on the coffee table in the living room to give the dogs a little morning greeting. They're just lying down. They were stretched out, and put my phone down. And I typically always remember to grab the phone. And in this case, I'm just about to get on to, I almost committed to the bridge. That would have really sucked if I would have gotten on the bridge. And then I'm like, jeez. But luckily, I was able to make a U-E before I got onto the bridge, go back to the house. But anyway, it's put me off 10 minutes. So let me go around the room here. Roxanne, should I have just continued and said, you know what? I can do it. I can do without my cell phone for about 5.5 hours today. Yes or no?
No, because all the interruptions that you would have had throughout the day, realizing, oh, I can't log into my authentication, my Gmail,
Yep.
and you'd go to grab your cell phone to call someone and you couldn't. All of those interruptions would have added up to you driving home to get it. So it's a net deal. But
So it's a net positive. So it would have screwed with my mind all
Yes.
morning long.
yes,
And I tend to agree with you that I needed to. And what if something else popped up and I didn't have my phone? We're so reliant on these things, and it's more than just, playing Candy Crush for some. I've never even had Candy Crush on my phone. Please take note of that.
Oh, it's a good game.
Sure.
You'd really enjoy it.
All right, Fester, should I have turned around? Yes or no?
I mean, I would have gone.
Put me 10 minutes behind the 8 ball today.
If you had the opportunity to go back,
I did.
get it because
All right.
you're so dependent on it.
What is Froggy going to do?
It's like a crack dealer leaving their house without their crack.
Without
I would think it would be rather refreshing.
without
believe it.
the O-House scale in the trunk.
It's not the dealer. It's the addict. It's like the crack addict leaving their house without the crack. You have to go back and get
Is that how you pronounce that scale? We had that scale in high school in like chemistry and earth science, and we had that scale. It was like O''Haus, right? And then it seems that when I watch an episode of Cops, they find some meth dealer or crack dealer. He's got the same damn scale that I had in ninth grade earth science.
Yeah.
Same damn. All right, so Froggy, what would you have done if you left your cell phone at home?
I would have left it.
Yeah.
And challenged myself.
if it's a personal day, you would have loved not having your phone.
Andrew just took a dig at you. Was that on the air or was that all? Oh, no, that was just in my ear. So, hey, in the new studio, oh, by the way, got a new studio meeting this morning at 10 a.m. Yeah, let me talk about that a little bit later on. Let me just make a note. New studio. Yeah, got a big meeting of the minds at 10 o'clock right after the morning show regarding the so-called new MJ Morning Show studio, which they've been promising me since October of 2020. Yeah, this October will be 4 years that we're working in this dump hole. I mean, this is the porta potty of radio studios. Anyway, so Froggy, Andrew just took a dig at you and I can't tell.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I now know that he wasn't on the air because I don't have his studio little controller up, but it's the same sound in my ear, whether he's on the air or if he's just giving me a little note in my ear. So Andrew took a dig at you, and he said Froggy would have called in sick.
Oh, Andrew.
Andrew wants to play the let's take digs at each other game.
Oh, Andrew.
Froggy's really good at that game.
So, Froggy, what would you have done? You leave your cell phone at home. You're 5 minutes already down the road from the house. Do you go back? Yes or no?
I would have called in sick.
There we go.
That's it,
All right. Anyway, so I've got to kind of get past my slight discombobulation this morning. All right, 6:09, traffic's on. Let's grab Pat with the latest. It's a busy MJ Morning Show. Back in a moment. MJ Morning Show on Q105. MJ with Fester, Roxanne, Froggy. 6:20 Tuesday morning. That's a lot of money. Holy crap. Fester just brought up a story about a Family Dollar issue that landed them a $41.6 million fine.
That's a lot of money for any company.
Especially when you sell crap for $1.
Okay, that's not the dollar store. That's like things are all prices.
There's like 7,000 of those stores.
Okay, so there's Dollar General, then there's Family Dollar, and
then there's Dollar Tree.
Yes. But I love all those stores.
And then Dollar Tree is now it used to be the Dollar Tree, then it became the $1.25 tree, and now apparently it's the $1.50 tree.
We should open a dollar bush.
They now have a section.
The dollar shrub.
The dollar weed.
All of these
I think that's a real weed, the dollar weed.
Dollar weed's actually.
Probably is, yeah.
You
Really?
You use cancer-causing Roundup for that stuff.
Have you ever seen those Scots commercials where the Scottish guy's like, "Oh, we killed the dollar weed"?
Wow.
That's a terrible Scottish accent.
Awful.
It'd sort of be the British pound weed. Wouldn't be the dollar weed over there. I said, hey, hold on to your little Family Dollar fine.
Okay.
Yeah, Fester, what you just asked me about the measles thing.
Big news about the measles. The first case in Polk County, which, one county over from where I live. And I just remembered my kids
I think it's one county over from where we all live.
No, unless you live in Pinellas, so you live in...
all right, but we're all Hillsborough County residents.
I'm talking to the world, not this room.
Okay,
look at you, orator.
We work in Pinellas County because here our Q105 dumpster studios are in Pinellas County. That's not a reflection on Pinellas.
No.
It's just our studios are a dump. All right. So, but we all work every day in Pinellas, or Pinellas, as some say, and we all live in Hillsborough. All right. So go ahead.
So anyway, measles. You don't hear much about measles anymore.
Well,
and then
because the vaccination rates for the MMR, the measles, what is it? The mumps,
rubella.
Yeah, measles, mumps, rubella, the MMR vaccine. The rates have been pretty good for decades and decades, but over the last 20 years, there's been, some that, jumped on a conspiracy bandwagon that, the MMR vaccine, there was like an undercurrent and there still is, where some people think that the mumps, measles, rubella vaccine, the MMR, which kids get when they're young, that some people have tried to tie it to autism, and there is zero scientific evidence or proof. I feel bad, kids that are autistic, and you have some parents that are looking for a reason to try to explain why and that became sort of a punching bag, the MMR, because of, I think it was like thimerosal, mercury-based early preservatives, but I don't think that's used. It hasn't been used for a long time. But again, no scientific proof or evidence at all that these kid vaccines like the MMR caused autism. So you had an undercurrent, and you had a lot of folks that decided they don't want to get their kids vaccinated. So the question is, with the outbreak, which started in Broward County, were the kids that came down with the measles at a elementary school, were they unvaccinated? And now what you're bringing up is now we've got the first case in the Tampa Bay area in Polk County.
I feel bad for these kids, but I remember my wife getting the kids vaccinated like soon after they were born, right?
Yeah, I mean, most kids get vaccinated. It's the right thing to do. We also have the Surgeon General in Florida is a total dumbass. I don't know if you followed this guy, but this guy's like, it's kind of embarrassing that he's the Surgeon General. This Joseph Lapido is just a dimwit, and he's gone against like the protocol for containment. It makes zero sense whatsoever. It should not be a political issue, but so much these days becomes a stupid political issue. This is a health issue, is what it comes down to. So, 2 Florida kids initially contracted the measles. Then it spread to 6 at Manatee Bay Elementary School in Weston. That's Weston is, not far from Fort Lauderdale. That's in Broward. And then now we have the case in Polk County. Yeah, this is from Fox 13. The measles outbreak has made its way to Central Florida over the weekend. The Florida Department of Health confirmed a 9th case of measles in Polk County. So your concern, Fester, is what?
Not for my family, certainly, in this case, but just that this is something that modern science has made preventable.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. For the most part, we eradicated it, and then you have some of the anti-vaxxers that don't want to give their kids the mumps, measles, rubella vaccine, and I'm guessing that some of the kids that came down with it were not vaccinated, and I don't even know what the rules are anymore. I remember when I was a kid, and I thought with my kids that in order to get enrolled at school, you had to prove that they were vaccinated against certain things.
Yeah, my kids, obviously they're fully vaccinated, but I learned this little trick from my doctor. And anytime they get a rash of any kind, you know how my brain works, right? So I go 0 to 60.
You say it's measles. Oh my God,
Right.
it's measles, and then you call in sick.
No, not really.
Okay,
No,
all
that's
right.
not me.
All right.
So I check their skin, their rash. Like for instance, a couple nights ago, Evelyn had all these very flat red bumps on her, and
measles.
Sounds like
right?
measles to me.
Right?
Oh my God.
Not a doctor.
Will they pop it up like that?
She had about 6 of them.
Oh, hang on.
And-
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And she's very low key.
6.
She's like, Mom, it's fine. It's nothing. They're bug bites. But I didn't see a bug bite. usually-
Chiggers.
Yes.
They
Are you going to let me speak, or
No.
are you just going to
Yeah,
keep interrupting?
no,
Go ahead.
no.
This is very entertaining. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Chiggers.
I think chiggers is funny.
It is. It's hilarious.
Chiggers is very funny. That's one of the funniest bugs out there.
It is.
That
Maybe
and chinch bugs.
Maybe it's rickets.
I wonder. I'll never know.
Rickets is not a bug.
So we'll never know the
That
identity
would
of
be
these
You're
kids.
thinking crickets?
No, I'm thinking of rickets.
Okay.
The
What is-
disease.
On middays today, I'm going to tell everyone a great trick if your child has a rash, how to tell if it's serious or not.
Going into Taylor Dane's songs.
Yes, I am.
So listen, Angie, I don't know if this is the kids were anti-vaxxers. I don't know if this was kids.
I don't
from,
think the kids
were
would be.
anti-vax.
No, I don't think the kids are either.
I think the parents would be, yeah.
But I also don't know if these kids. You mean Polk County has a large, agricultural population and a migrant population. So I don't know if these kids never had access to vaccinations. I don't know, but I feel bad for them.
Are we doing serious stuff now? Because I'll share a serious thing. This is important. If your kid
Hold on,
has a rash,
you seem a little edgy today.
No, I'm not edgy. It just is that you are so rude sometimes.
So rude.
When I'm trying to talk and you're talking over me on purpose.
Hold on.
I'm going to tell you.
The person that talks over the most? Okay.
The person who raises their hand the most, who certainly tries not to the most.
All right, so go ahead.
So this is important.
Yeah, like I said, something crawled up your butt this morning.
You did play
no.
6 sound effects for each one of her daughter's rash
you did.
bumps.
Yeah,
You did.
excuse me for trying to add a little comedic element to the show.
Yeah, but it's just listen to me because this is interesting.
All right.
If your kid has a bump and it's a red rash and it blanches, in other words, if you put pressure on it and pull it apart and it turns white, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. If it doesn't blanch and stays red, it could be something more serious. That's kind of a general rule.
Can I talk?
Yes, you can.
So if you take your thumb and jam it into your kid's rash, and if the
Spread it apart.
if the redness goes away,
Yes.
if it becomes more normal skin tone, then you don't have to worry about that. But if
Exactly.
you then jam your thumb into the rash and it remains red,
Exactly.
or you kind of try to spread the skin,
Yes.
if it remains red, then it's problematic. Now,
Exactly.
is this medically sound advice, or is this from the dimwit Surgeon General in Florida?
It's from the Surgeon General. No, I just started this story.
But
if
where'd
you
you-
listen,
where'd you get
with
it?
my pediatrician told me.
Oh.
And it's actually the medical term is called dioscopy, but we just call it blanching. If it goes white like your normal skin tone, you're good.
Wow.
And if the kid becomes very sarcastic and a horny old lady, that's also called blanching.
Yes.
Golden Girl.
Blanche.
Golden Girl. That was the first thing I thought of.
You should have named your daughter Blanche instead of Evelyn. Kind of
Blanche
out of the
is-
same era, you know?
That was my grandmother's name.
Kind of 1910s names, but did you consider Blanche for your young daughter?
I did. Well, Evelyn and Blanche go together, but we went with Daviana.
Blanche.
What if you have a kid named Blanche or an old aunt named Blanche, and you decide to blanch her in the kitchen in a pot of boiling water.
She fell into a jacuzzi or something.
She got Blanche got blanched.
Oh,
All right. So I'm sure the whole measles thing will come up. Yeah, it's just a smart move to, get your kid vaccinated, with the MMR, because it really has prevented a lot of these diseases for decades and decades.
Yeah.
But there has been sort of an anti-vax movement it's been almost like 20 years that there's been like an undercurrent of people thinking that the MMR causes autism. And again, there's just no scientific proof whatsoever. 6:31 at the MJ Morning Show here on Q105. A nice early batch of morons in the news next. Don't move. We're back in moments. Hey, 6:39 at the MJ Morning Show. Early morons in the news on a Tuesday. And I'm wondering if this guy, when he got to the very top, was he yelling, "Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you see some wacko climbed a cell tower in Hillsborough County? Did you see this guy?
Besides the effects that gravity could have on you, can you get like electrocuted or something? Like,
I don't think it's exposed arcing wires up there, but there's like radiation that it gets transmitted from the cell towers.
Would he have the best reception ever, being like on the tower?
I think so. I mean, if you ever notice that when you're near a cell tower and that tower has antennae or whatever if your cell company is on that tower, whether it's T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T, if they're working today, maybe the guy was pissed off. He wanted his $5 for AT&T for the big outage last week. Now, this dude was arrested over the weekend after he live streamed himself climbing a cell tower.
Oh.
Yeah, HCSO, Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, they responded, as well as one of the aviation units. They were up in the sky with, I guess, the big spotlight on and the FLIR system going, and they went to the 13,000 block of Rodine Road. This is like 7 o'clock on Saturday night.
What part of town is that?
I don't know. Why don't you look it up in Google Maps? 13,000 Rodine Road, Rodine. I have no idea where the hell that is, although it is located within the jurisdiction of the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office. So 7 o'clock at night, I guess it's like becoming dark, right? Is it 7 o'clock? It might
Dusk.
still, it might be fully dark at 7. The days are starting to get longer, obviously. So soon, 7 o'clock is going to be, somewhat still, lighted. That's, because as, we get closer to spring here, obviously, the days get longer.
Right.
So the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, they identified this guy, and the guy that I guess called 911 was like waiting for deputies, and he's waving his hand. So they find the witness or the guy that made the 911 call. And then he says, "Yeah, over there." And he points up to the tower. And this dude is just climbing this cell tower.
Now, doesn't that usually end in an electrocution?
Well,
That's what I thought.
Well,
Because I follow a couple YouTube channels.
You just walked in late, but that's what Fester said. Can you get electrocuted? And I don't know if there are open wires that can electrocute you. You've got transmission cables, but those are pretty much shielded. And
No, wait, there's a whole YouTube channel I follow of guys getting electrocuted like that.
yeah, probably climbing power poles or climbing transmission lines for like Duke or Tico or something. But I don't know if I don't think there's an inherent electrocution hazard of climbing a cell tower.
That's a very niche channel if there were, Froggy.
Yeah, so
I'd watch.
Yeah, I'd watch.
as the sheriff's deputies arrived and they find the guy that's pointing to this maniac on the tower, the guy's starting to climb back down. So as the deputies get there, the dude is climbing down, and then the deputy that ultimately arrested this guy asked if you got all the way to the top of the cell tower, and then the suspect, the climber, said, "Yep." And the deputy says, "Yeah, that's pretty crazy. This is all like on body cam."
Ugh.
They took him into custody. Once he actually got off the tower, clearly the deputy's having a conversation with the tower climber as he's still up on a reasonably high portion of the tower. He finally gets down, and then the guy was taken into custody and arrested. But I mean, the guy live streamed this
On what platform? I gotta follow this guy.
It doesn't say.
That's an entertaining stream.
Yeah.
Well, where can you live stream? You can live stream on Instagram. You can live stream on
anything.
Facebook, Twitch. That's another live streaming platform.
We live stream on YouTube every day. I think all the platforms now have a live stream. You can live stream on Tick Schmuck.
Yeah, we're on YouTube right now.
Yeah.
We live stream, and we have for years. The MJ Morning Show is live streamed on YouTube, so you can watch us right now. We've got hundreds of people that watch us live every day, or hundreds to thousands depending on the day, and then of course even more people watch us later. So you can go back and watch our stream anytime you want on demand. So if you haven't checked out MJ TV, you should, because you get to see us do the show live in the studio. If you go to mjmorningshow.com and you click on the little MJ TV tab on the nav bar, then when we're live 6 to 10, you click on the little, it's like a rectangular graphic that says, watch the MJ Morning Show live. Or all of our shows are all archived. You can go back and watch this show later this morning, this afternoon, this evening, tomorrow, whatever, or any show you want to watch.
Other than trespassing, what charges does this guy face?
I would say...
Is it like federally protected property because of FCC stuff, because of cell towers?
Yeah, I didn't see what charges, but I think, trespassing, and there might be some disturbing the peace charges. I'm sure there's a multitude of charges the guy could be hit with. But, again, he live streamed it, and we don't have any further information on what this guy was doing, whether he was some kind of daredevil. Hey, you've got these guys that, like the Spider-Man guy that wants to scale buildings.
Oh, that creeps me out.
All right,
man.
so on my phone, I'm getting a bunch of texts from listeners who are yelling at me for not knowing my map of Hillsborough County.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, Rodine Road is a major road in Riverview area, south of Fishhawk area.
Yeah, I'm looking at the map right. Well, I told you to Google Map it.
I did.
And I told you to just type in 13,000 Rodine Road. It looks pretty damn rural out there.
Anyway,
looks like there's a bunch of grass and trees.
Perfect spot for a cell phone tower.
Yeah.
And then another moron.
You see, I'm not aware of that. I'm South Tampa. You're Lutz.
Yeah, LA.
Froggy's, town and country. And
Just don't get out there very often. A lot of people are out there, though. Anyway, another person says that we should climb the tower, the radio towers on Gandy Boulevard.
What?
No way.
What'd you say?
That's stupid.
Another
idea.
moron
just sent me a text and said, hey, you guys should climb the Gandy radio towers, which I don't think I can physically do.
Well, there's one right near the dog track. There's a big tower there.
Are there the double towers before you hit the bridge? Or are they gone?
Oh, no. On the bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
There are two towers like on the bridge, and then there's one near the dog track as well, radio tower. What line am I taking? 4? It's John? Let me grab John on 4. Hi, good morning. It's the MJ Morning Show. Hello. Oh, I'm sorry. Not John. It's Kevin.
Oh, close.
All right.
Kevin, John.
Hey, Kevin, sorry about that. I thought he said John. Kevin, go ahead, Kev. You're on the MJ Morning Show.
Good morning. Hey, I just wanted to let everybody know these weren't regular cell phone towers. These are the ones that are like a mile high in the sky that you see the guys on YouTube climbing for $20,000 to change a light bulb.
Oh, so is it a cell phone tower or is it a radio tower? Because, out toward Riverview, you've got a bunch of the radio station antennas out there and a bunch of the TV stations like, Fox 13, Channel 8, Channel 28. A lot of the TV stations, those big, tall towers out in Riverview, near Fishhawk. Was it one of those or was it a cell phone tower?
That's exactly where it was at. Yeah, that's in my backyard. I look at that thing every night.
All right, so because the report said it was a cell phone tower. So are you suggesting it was not a cell phone tower?
Yeah, no. My wife told me about it when I came home the other day. I was like, "Oh my God, somebody actually did it." Because I joked around about it when I first moved out there.
Did you see the guy climbing the cell phone tower on Saturday night, or is this the first you're hearing about it?
Yeah, no. I'd heard about it from my wife the other day, but I knew somebody'd try it.
Wow.
I laugh about it. I drive by them every single day on my way home because there's 5 of them in a cluster out there south of Fishhawk.
Yeah.
And they're right there off of Boyette Road in Riverview.
Yeah, I know the towers. I mean, you can see them. If you're on I-75 and you look to the east, you'll see the big towers. Hey, when we were on the other radio station for years, our station was on one of those towers. One of those.
I believe it.
Yeah, one of those big towers out there. All right, buddy. Listen, thanks for checking in, And
You got it.
yeah, I'm sorry you didn't see the guy actually scaling it.
Yeah, how awesome would
right?
it be if this guy
Now,
had
I'll
video?
have to start looking at night for flashlights.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you, buddy. Thanks for listening. Thanks
got
for
it.
calling in. We appreciate it.
Take it easy.
All right,
You got
Kevin from out in Riverview. What was that, Andrew? Andrew says you found the video of it?
Yeah, it looked like the video. I emailed it to Fester just now.
All right, so Andrew found the video of the guy scaling the tower on Saturday night. Does it look to you like a radio tower, or does it look
It looks like a big one, yeah.
All right, so it's not a cell phone tower, or
Frig that, dude.
or keep in mind maybe at a lower level
Share space.
maybe they have some cell phone arrays, but that would be one of the big. That's one of the big TV and radio towers, and those things are like some of those out there are like 1,500 and 1,800 feet tall. There are a couple of really tall towers out in Riverview. Well, listen, that's why we call it Morons in the News. Luckily, this guy didn't fall down. I don't know if he had like the equipment, like the professional tower climbers that, change the flashing FAA mandated light bulbs on there, or to do work on antennas. Those guys are using harnesses and all kinds of carabiners and clips and clamps, and there's all kinds of safety stuff. And, a lot of times they have to turn the towers off and go to, we had to go to like an auxiliary tower sometimes because they had to turn all the RF off when the people climbed the towers to fix them.
Yeah.
So this guy apparently climbed it. I wonder if he got all juiced up with radiation. That's, anyway, that's why we call it Morons in the News. Hey, thanks for calling in, Kevin. 6:51 at the MJ Morning Show. And I have additional morons. We didn't even get to it. I wasn't banking on spending this much time on a nut job tower climber, but Andrew just sent the video to Fester. That's kind of interesting. All right. We start the 7 o'clock hour next. Coming up also, we have an hour and 20 minutes of nonstop MJ coming up in just a bit. Plus, next, I'm going to reveal something that I don't know if it's ever been done. Folks, later this week, I'm giving away $1 million. I don't know if this has ever been done. How would you like to win $1 million? Later this week, it's going to happen. I'm going to give you details next on how you could grab $1 million by just listening to the MJ Morning Show. Stand by. If you're looking... right, so later this week, I'm going to give away $1 million. I don't know if this has ever been done. Friday, sometime between 7:45 and 8:15. I'm going to give you a half-hour window. Sometime on Friday, I'm going to tell you to call in, and you could win $1 million from the MJ Morning Show. I don't think this has ever been done. I did some cursory research on this over the last couple of weeks, and I just can't find anywhere where anyone has given away $1 million in this particular fashion. This, I think, is huge. This is very big as far as radio contests go. Giving away $1 million?
It's pretty exciting.
So what is today? Today's Tuesday. So I'm going to talk about it during the course of the week. And then on Friday, your chance to call in and win $1 million. Right here on the MJ. I can tell you right now that no other morning show in this country is giving away $1 million this week. I don't know if it's ever been done in this particular fashion. So stand by. Enjoy the content for the rest of the week here on the MJ Morning Show. And then Friday morning, between 7:45 and 8:15, your shot to win $1 million right here on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. Stand by. Hey, I don't have time to do this here, but I will in the long chunk because we start an hour and 20 minutes of nonstop MJ. Did you see some of the details that came out in court yesterday regarding Don Henley from the Eagles? And this lawsuit over these jackasses that like stole like handwritten lyrics. I think a hotel. Yeah. So these guys are being prosecuted for like stealing Don Henley handwritten lyrics. And in the course of the prosecution, Don Henley's testifying because then they tried to like extort him or they tried to sell him the stuff that was stolen back. But in the course of this trial, which is going on in New York, we now find out about Don Henley and a 16-year-old hooker and cocaine. I mean,
At the Hotel California?
No, it was in his home in the Hollywood
I was
Hills.
about to say, I mean, you check out, but you never leave.
I think it was at his home in the Hollywood Hills. Anyway,
Hold on. All this over stolen lyrics.
Yeah, because
everything's coming out.
Oh, well, a lot of times, through the discovery process and, if you're involved in a lawsuit, all kinds of stuff which you might question the relevancy can come out if the judge allows it, if they find it.
Discovery.
If they find it admissible. But hang on. We got to get into the details. Don Henley from the Eagles, a 16-year-old hooker, a 16-year-old prostitute, and cocaine, and she collapsed, and he wasn't arrested, and this is a crazy story that's coming out. And also, Don Henley is like 4 years away from 80. Do you realize that?
Wow.
Don Henley's 76 years old. All right, we'll get to that in just a bit. Hey, speaking of other celebrities, this is another kind of a twisted, convoluted deal involving Prince Harry.
Oh, right.
Now, Prince Harry, he released that book, Spare. The whole play on, that he's the spare, the spare heir.
Yeah.
And now he's way behind because now William's kids, they're before Harry.
Yeah.
In the whole line of succession.
Take
and
a
of
seat,
course,
Harry.
And then, of course, Harry kind of blew up his whole royalty anyway. That Meghan, oh, my wife hates Meghan Markle. But she does watch Suits.
You know what? It's a good show in spite of her. Everybody who I've seen that watched Suits has high praise about it.
Hold on a sec.
Don't talk about my wife like that.
Sorry, Harry.
She's beautiful.
Yeah, let me get Michelle on the line
She
here.
is
I know
beautiful, yeah.
it's kind of on the early side, 7:07 on a Tuesday morning here, and I usually don't call Michelle this early. Hey, good morning, Michelle. I'm sorry to bug you, but I'm about to get into this Prince Harry story, and it's just kind of weird. And I just mentioned how Prince Harry, the whole collapse of his royalty, and that Meghan Markle is really, she's like a crown wrecker, right?
Yeah.
But you like her in Suits, because you and Julian love that Suits TV show.
No, we don't like her. We just like the show.
Oh, so you like the show, but you don't like her.
What's the matter with her?
Well, she's not a great actress, first of all. She walks funny.
That's because she has weird
I
feet.
mean, how does she walk funny? Does she have a waddle?
Yeah, she kind of does. It's either like a waddle or she walks like she's got a stick up her you-know-where. She walks like...
Well, hold on. Where would the stick be?
Yeah,
The front or the back?
I got a couple
Back.
guesses.
Or the middle or the back? I don't know.
I got a couple of guesses.
I mean, we got some options.
Where's that stick?
Even in real life, she walks like she walks like she doesn't know how to walk in heels. If you don't know how to walk in heels, you shouldn't be wearing them. So it drives me
Booyah.
crazy.
Like-
But everybody else on the show is so great. We can't stop watching it.
Who's the guy that looks like a chipmunk?
Louis Litt.
Louis, is that his real name or his
No,
actor?
that's his name. That's his character's name.
Louis Litt is his character on the show.
Yeah.
All right. So I don't even know if you're aware of this, but Prince Harry and the fact that he may have lied about drug use.
Yeah, he's not going to get in the country.
Well, he is in the country, but there's a lawsuit. This is just fascinating that
Yeah.
Prince Harry's memoir that he released, Spare, is not proof that he took illicit drugs as he claimed in the book. And this is now like a federal case.
Yeah.
So Prince Harry
He's
is...
been around for a while.
Yeah. So Prince Harry's 39 years old now. And in the book, he admits to using cocaine.
That's right.
Smoking pot.
That's right.
We have the prince here.
I'm right
in the
here. You
studio.
can ask me if you
We
like.
talk to him directly. Maybe
I sound
show him,
Australian.
Show him the honor and the respect that the royal
Is
son deserves.
the prince about to say, "Oh, crikey"?
I mean, I sound a little Australian.
It sounds like you're in the outback, man.
Just go with it, Froggy.
sounds like the prince has some shrimp going on the barbie.
I'm
over
from
there.
England.
What about the dingo?
Did you go eat my baby?
All right, so Prince Harry's 39, and in the book he talks about snorting coke, smoking pot, taking psychedelic mushrooms. But lawyers,
Crazy prince, isn't he?
What?
Crazy partying prince.
yeah, the partying prince. But lawyers who are with the Department of Homeland Security, they're arguing that he might have just lied, just made it up to sell books and to pad his book to, fans that were like looking for all kinds of dirt. Listen, bottom line is, if you're going to write a memoir and there's any controversy, you better dish some dirt, or else why the hell would, a publishing company want to give you millions of dollars in advance money? And who's going to want to buy the book unless you got some, interesting, dirt that you're going to...
Using his mother's facial lotion on his frostbitten penis wasn't enough?
It's called a wanker.
Wait a second. What did you say?
I think that's the story, right? That he had to use his mother's face lotion to help cure his frostbitten penis or something?
I had to put
I
it
don't know
on my
that you
willy.
can cure frostbite.
Is that in the book?
Yes.
Something to that effect. Like he used the same lotion his mom used to use for her face.
I mean, who hasn't?
Because he
I
got
read it in one of those rags.
his wiener got frostbitten?
That's one of the stories.
I didn't know that.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
something like that. He had a
ween.
frostbitten penis, and his
time-
first escapade was in the back of a bar with some girls like 20 years older than him.
Michelle, you just said penis 3 times in 30 seconds.
It's not a,
That's four.
They say wanker.
So
By the way, you did wake me up with your little forgot your cell phone escapade.
oh my
I didn't
God.
know what was going on.
All right, hold on a minute. For those that didn't hear this at 6 o'clock, I'll get into that in just a second. Let me finish up with the story. But so there's a lawsuit here, and this
Well,
is
no, because the situation is that some people, I think other people, I don't know who they are, filed a claim that said he should be not allowed to come into the country. He should be denied legal immigration because of his drug use, because we don't let people in who are drug users.
It's the Heritage Foundation. It's the Washington, D.C. based Heritage Foundation, and they sued the Department of Homeland Security after they were not able to get a copy of Prince Harry's visa application. And the whole point here with the drugs is that the Heritage Foundation, which is like a think tank and it's a conservative group in Washington, what they're saying is they wanted to get a copy through Freedom of Information of Prince Harry's visa to enter the United States where he's living now. And the claim is that if you admit to drug use, and there are questions on a visa application asking about illicit drug use or committing crimes, and what the Heritage folks are saying is that they want that information because in the book, Prince Harry's talking about using drugs, and that should have been a disqualifier for him to get into the country applying for a U.S. visa. So they could not get, the Heritage Foundation could not get the information from the Department of Homeland Security, so they sued, and now this is coming out in court. Department of Homeland Security lawyers argue that releasing the book, which would have asked Harry if he had prior drug use, would be an unwarranted invasion of his
the application.
Yeah, of his privacy. So this has now ended up in court, and the lawyers for the government, or technically the Biden administration, they're saying that just because he wrote it in a book doesn't mean that it's true. So that's why we're talking about, I guess, his wanker.
Well, guess what?
And
They said they needed a sentence on my wanker.
If it's not true, then he's going to be like little pieces of me fella, and he's going to have to give all the money back. And the people who read the book are disappointed now that there's all these untruths in there are going to get a refund from the publisher.
Million Pieces of Me guy, it was a complete lie, though.
Oh, yeah.
Well, how do we know anything else is true? Once you tell a lie, you're a liar.
Hold on, what was the name of that book? Was it like a million
You just said a million little pieces.
That was a million
Little Piece of Me or something like that.
No, I don't think it was
A
Pieces
million
of
little
Me.
pieces.
Yeah, it was a million little pieces.
And it was a picture of a hand with a bunch of sprinkles.
With a bunch of pills coming out.
Wasn't that
he
the
went on the Oprah
Yeah.
show too. Look at it. He went on Oprah.
Oprah loved him.
And, loved him.
Yeah, he was. I was going to say that was like the Oprah book club pick or something.
That's
and guess
right.
what wasn't true? He wasn't on drugs and he wasn't in jail for a weekend or something stupid like that. And then the publisher had to refund people their money, and he had to give all the money back to the publisher.
Right.
What a wanker.
If Prince Harry has to do that, they're going to be broke. They'll be filing for bankruptcy.
Yeah. First of all, Harry's never going to be involved in this trial. It's somebody trying to sue Homeland Security
To get information about his visa. Yeah.
Homeland Security's right. I mean, a book is not sworn testimony. You can write whatever you want in a book.
But it's used against you in a court of law.
There you go. Hi, Michelle. And then
He's claimed it's a memoir. It's a statement of his truth.
And then I woke you up when I came back to the house.
Yes, all that doggy business.
Yeah, the dog started barking. Yeah, and again, I had a dilemma this morning. You know what? I'm going to raise this again because I'm telling you, this is anxiety.
It's just you. It's just you.
No, it's not just me.
You literally get. I don't know how you made.
All right, hold on. I'm running late. Hold on. I'm going to call you. I'm going to call you right back after the break. Okay?
Lucky you.
Yeah, you call me right back.
Spastic, bro. You're spastic.
Maybe you can say penis again. All right, I'm going to call you right back after the break, and I'll take calls on this because I'm telling you, most people would have done exactly what I did. I had an anxiety moment this morning, and I'm not an anxious person. I don't have panic attacks, but I knew that I had to turn the car around because I forgot something, and I think most people would do exactly what I did. All right, what happened? Tell you next. Don't move. Back in a minute. We'll start an hour and 20 minutes of nonstop MJ next here on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. show across the country. This is groundbreaking, folks. I'm giving away $1 million Friday morning here on the MJ Morning Show on Q105 between 7:45 and 8:15. Further details, little breadcrumbs will be dropped during the course of the week. How would you like to win $1 million? Right here, MJ Morning Show, Friday morning. Spread the word on this, folks. And more details forthcoming as the week progresses. But Friday morning is going to be the big day. All right, Michelle's back on the line here quickly. And then we've got a loaded segment. We're starting an hour and 20 minutes of nonstop MJ. You know, somebody sent me a creepy claim of someone getting drugged at a local restaurant.
Oh, scary.
Yeah, this was on Reddit. It was like a Tampa subreddit. And this just was sent to me last night. And this has caused apparently a huge debate about someone being drugged at a restaurant. That's the allegation. Hang on. I'll get into the details. You might have already heard about this. I looked at the post last night. The comments were closed off already because there were hundreds and hundreds of comments. So we'll get into that here in just a second. Let me grab Michelle. Michelle's joining us again from our master bedroom. And yes.
Hot, dude.
Michelle is lying in bed right. Hey, what are you wearing right now, Michelle?
You saw what I'm wearing.
Oh, that's true. All right.
Well, that's no fun.
So I disrupted the house this morning, but listen, this is a real serious deal. I leave the house.
Only for you.
I'm running early this morning. So I would have been here even earlier, and I ended up being about 11 minutes late to the studio this morning, which kind of put me all discombobulated because
All right. See, I shouldn't have made you so discombobulated.
Well,
11 minutes.
listen, 11 minutes, that's a big deal when you're preparing for the morning show.
No, it wasn't that you were 11 minutes. It was the whole what you left here, yada, yada, yada.
Right, well, that's why I'm bringing this up, and I'm going to ask you, the MJ Morning Show listener, would you have done the same thing, or would you have said, just screw it, I'll deal with it?
Deal with it.
All right, here's what happened. We're attached to our cell phones. I left the home this morning, or left our home this morning. That's awkward. I left the house this morning.
Yeah.
I left the house this morning, and I left my cell phone, and I realized it literally at the point of no return. And luckily, I was able to make the U-turn and go home. I was just about to get onto 275 southbound, the Howard Franklin Bridge on Kennedy. And then, once you get on, you got to go all the way, unless you want to use that little turnaround, that secret turnaround, which you can get a ticket for doing that, halfway through the bridge. But I'm leaving the house this morning, and I left my freaking cell phone on the coffee table in the living room because that's where I have my shoes and I have my carry bag with all of my material. And that's what I grab. And I put the phone down on the coffee table. Usually I have it in my pocket, but it was in my hand. And I put it down on the coffee table. And I gave the dogs an extra special goodbye this morning as they were just lounging on their little Kirkland doggy beds on the floor in the living room. And I left the damn phone. And I'm about to get onto the bridge on Kennedy. And I'm like, oh my, where's the phone? And I, kind of did the little cell phone. I'm patting my pockets and
the pants pocket pat that you always do.
The panic pat.
That's a triple P.
The kids and I all do it right behind you, laughing at you.
It's the quadruple P because it's the pants pocket panic pat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
It really sounds like your family bullies you.
And by the way, Michelle and the kids find it so funny that if I think that I might have left my cell phone somewhere, that there's like a face comes over me and then I start patting, patting my pants. So it's the pants pocket phone panic deal. So I have that. I'm like, oh, where's my phone? I'm like, oh, son of a, and then I realized that I left it in the living room. So
let me tell you, if you made it that far, that's pretty far because usually it only happens about quarter of a mile down the street.
Yeah. For whatever reason, I got 6 minutes away from the damn house. Yeah. So I went 6 minutes toward work, and then I had to go back another 6 minutes. Then I had to go into the house. But the question is, and think about this, folks, if you did the same thing I did, and you're going to be at work, and I've got, I'm going to be here doing the morning show for 4 hours, the travel time, and what would you do? Would you go back to your house? Would you turn around and go get your cell phone? Or would you say, you know what? I can live without a cell phone for 5-6 hours in my case, but in your case, it might be, maybe you're at work for 7-8 hours. What would you have done?
I'll tell you what I would have done.
Yeah,
we know.
I would be told by my husband, you don't need that phone. You're fine. Let's keep going where we're going.
Oh, so you're accusing me of...
That's what you did to me when I left my phone in the house one time. You don't need the phone.
Yeah. He marginalizes other people's experiences, but takes his to heart.
Exactly.
Oh,
Yes.
so
Beautiful.
This is turning into an MJ bashing
You're
segment.
exactly right, Michelle.
I think we were going to dinner or something. You were like, I was like, well, I don't have my phone. And the kids are away. Chloe's in Scotland. Julian's at school. And you were like, you don't need it. I got mine. I'm like, yeah, well, if they want to call me, though, you know.
But the issue is that I would not be able to sign.
Special issue for you.
I needed my cell phone for my 2-factor authentication to get into my Gmail
Why
account.
do you need that for 5 hours?
You're exactly right.
Most
I love
people.
what you said this morning.
What?
What if Michelle needs to reach me? I have Fester's phone number. I have Roxanne's phone number. I have Froggy's phone number.
By the way,
I have
everyone
Wi-Fi.
has Fester's phone number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know where he is because you can just tune in and hear him and check on
Right.
him.
So, you know what, Roxanne, it's funny you say that.
Yeah. By the way, I know what Fester's about to
Funny
say.
you say that. And I've been thinking about this for
A
years.
friend
Oh,
of
yeah.
a friend of Michelle once said to Michelle, "Fester, go ahead and repeat it."
You know, Michelle, your husband has the best job for you to have an affair. Because you know where your husband is all the time because he's on the radio. You tune in, you know where your husband is.
First of
you
all,
can go have another affair, Michelle.
I don't think that.
Is she friends with Linda Richmond?
That's all of Michelle's friends.
Or Fran Drescher.
I mean, what the hell?
Michelle, if Todd wanted to have an affair, he'd catch him in a second.
I'm
But
Vic
you,
Clem.
on the other hand, if you wanted to have an affair on Todd, just listen to the radio. You know where he is.
Right.
You could run around.
Hey,
The town is your oyster.
Hey, Fester, Michelle's friend, whoever the hell said that, was not on Coffee Talk. Okay.
I love Bob.
That is how I picture every one of Michelle's friends.
All right, Michelle. First of all, which one of your friends said that? That
I don't remember now.
Come on, yes you do.
No, I don't remember.
Who? Come on,
I don't remember.
out him. Come on, out him.
No.
Yeah. So the suggestion was that if Michelle wanted to have an affair, that she could easily have an affair between 6 and 10 a.m.
It's true,
That
Michelle.
I wasn't gonna walk in on her,
I remember when I was running around on my husband
All right,
and he
stop it.
walks in on us.
Stop it, Fester.
So awful.
Oh, she sounds hot.
Anyway.
You're so lucky, Michelle.
All right, I got to move on here, but I turned the car around. I was a little later than I wanted to be getting to the studio this morning because, listen, most people would do that. All right, I'll tell you what, let's go to phones quickly. You leave your phone at home, you're 6-10 minutes down the road. Do you turn around and go home, or are you able, this is the big question, are you able to live without your phone for the day? That's the question. Yes or no?
Impossible.
800-990-1047. 800-990-1047. And then, Michelle, inevitably, you would have then yelled at me, "Oh, that's convenient. I needed you for something, and you left your phone home."
No, because I would have been able to call Fester or Roxanne or Froggy or the warm line.
All right, listen, I'm going to grab a couple of calls on this before we move on, but I disrupted the house because then the dogs weren't
That's what you're
expecting
gonna
me
get yelled at
to come back. The
that's-
dogs start barking.
Yep.
Yeah, we upset the dogs.
Yeah.
They didn't know what was going on.
Yeah. Listen,
They're
the phones.
scared and terrified. They thought there was an intruder.
Michelle.
Dogs were all scared and confused.
Wouldn't it have been crazy if your boyfriend would have came over the second Todd left, but he left his phone at home? Oh, my God.
Oh,
You're so lucky, Michelle.
Would you
You
stop?
have him scheduled to come in on Wednesdays.
What do you today's Tuesday.
Chandler's girlfriend.
That's right. She's lucky he's
Yeah.
scheduled for Wednesday. That's right.
So the affair guy is showing up on Wednesday at
Yeah.
6 o'clock.
Yeah, Mr. Siderise there at 6 a.m. on
Yeah.
Wednesday.
You better stick to your schedule.
And is the radio playing in the background while they're doing it, so they can hear where I am?
Michelle, tell them about the time you and your side ride were doing it to the Peter Cofield song.
Stop it, Fester.
Stop it. That's disgusting.
Little radio genius climbing into your bed.
That's not how the song goes.
I changed it.
Michelle, I'm sorry for laughing.
Time to get up, get out of bed.
Hey, Michelle, it's 6 a.m. I'm here. Hey, how you doing?
All right.
He's a mob guy now?
Michelle's dating a mob guy, and her best friend is the co-host of Coffee Talk.
Right. And the guy's out of The Sopranos.
Hey.
It's Paulie Walnuts.
How you's doing?
All right, Michelle. All right, goodbye.
What friends do you have?
Love you. Oh. All right. Hey, thanks for the reciprocation there. All right, it's 7:38 at the MJ Morning Show. So the phones are loaded. If you're on hold, hang on. Yes, Rox.
After we take calls, I have to share a cell phone experience that is very enlightening.
Okay. The question is, would you do the same thing? Could you live without your cell phone for the day? I maintain most people will say no. We're attached to these things. They are surgically attached to our bodies these days. And there's cell phone anxiety. There's cell phone detachment anxiety syndrome. Cell phone detachment. What is that? Cell phone CDAS. CDAS. Yeah. Cell phone.
Yes. That works.
Yeah.
CDAS.
Yeah.
MJ, if it wasn't for Wordle, I would throw my phone away if I could.
Lillian is in Tampa. Hello, Lillian. You're on the MJ Morning Show.
Hi.
All right, so Lillian, would you have cell phone separation anxiety like I did this morning and turn the car around?
Yes, I would.
Have you ever done it, Lillian?
I have forgotten my phone, and I've gone back home to get it.
Gotcha. How old are you, Lillian?
I'm 14.
Yeah, I was going to say, you sounded on the young side, so I think this afflicts all ages. So, my age, in my 50s, Lillian is 14. Lillian, are you with mom or dad in the car right now?
Yeah, I'm with my mom.
All right, how old's your mom?
43.
All right, hey, Mom, would you do the same thing? Do you have cell phone separation anxiety? Would you go back and get it?
Probably, because I would have felt like it was an emergency, would have arrived at that moment, and I would have needed it.
Yep. See, there you go. Again, it's anxiety. Thank you, Mom and Lillian, for calling in and listening. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
All right, Kim is in Tampa. Kim, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Hi.
Kim, do you have cell phone separation anxiety?
I don't really, but if I didn't go back and get my cell phone, my daughter would.
Explain.
I'm 69 years old.
Yep.
My husband recently passed away.
Mm-hmm. Sorry about that.
Thank you. But if I don't have my cell phone with me at all times, she panics because she needs to know where I am.
100%. And that's why I went back and got it as well. By the way.
How old are you, Kim?
She said she's 69.
Okay. There's an age when if your parents don't answer the phone, you think they're dead.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, my God. It's terrible.
I mean, listen, Allison's mother lives in Land O'Lakes. We call her once, we call her twice, we call her 3 times.
And then you immediately think of the worst possible thing.
I usually think the gas stove is blown
She was
up.
taking a bath and a toaster fell in.
Something happened. I mean, somebody who always answers their phone.
I have 2 40-pound dogs. So her fear is always one of them's going to knock me over.
Yeah.
I'm going to fall.
Break a hip. Absolutely.
Right. Hey, thanks for the call. Hey, this show has the best demographic spread of any show in the entire 14 years old, the last caller, and then that caller was 69. We've got the best demographic spread. I'll grab 2 more calls, Andrew, then I got to move on. We've got Kat in Valrico, cell phone separation anxiety. You go to work, you're 10 minutes down the road, you forgot your cell phone. Do you say, screw it, I can deal with it for a day without, or do you go back and get it, Kat?
I have to go back and get mine.
Yep.
I've gotten all the way to work before and not had it. I feel like I'm missing a part of me if I don't have it.
Yeah, it's like you're missing a digit, like like your right hand is gone. All right, so Kat, how far was the drive back home from work?
Okay, you're going to laugh because I only work 3 miles from my house.
All right, so it
wasn't that bad.
Yeah, so it's not terrible. Kat, thanks. Rudy in Lakeland. Rudy, MJ Morning Show. Your thoughts on cell phone separation anxiety?
At first, when you were talking about this, I thought it was about you and not about me.
Hey, Rudy, it sounds like you're flying a biplane. Is there any?
I have an older vehicle. I'm out in DFE. But
Got the Red Baron on the phone.
All right. That's a good minute. Pick up your phone, Rudy.
All right, Rudy, go ahead. I'll try to understand you.
Okay, I moved the phone a little bit.
Oh, thank God.
You and I think
Phone was in the back seat. He's trying to have a conversation with us. All right, go ahead, Rudy.
you're more dependent on phones than everybody else, I think. I'm driving a long haul, so I need to have the phone in case of an emergency.
Yep.
You're doing a short distance. You're not going to be gone all day, and that's the difference between you and I. You need that phone personally because you're probably OCD.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Me,
Rudy.
OCD? No.
A phone gives him control.
Yeah. Another difference between MJ and you, Rudy, is he doesn't fly a single-engine plane to work.
All right, thank you, Rudy. All right, one last call. Brandon in Tampa. Hello, Brandon. You got the final say on this. Go ahead.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing well. Go.
Hey, I'm totally, if I left my cell phone at home, I would totally just leave it there. If it was up to me, I would have no cell phone at all.
All right. So I couldn't do it. I had to turn the car around this morning, go back to the house, disrupt the dogs because, the dogs know the pattern. They know I leave, and then I came back at, 5-8 minutes later, and then, they're barking, waking everyone up. So thank you, Brandon. Appreciate it. All right, moving along. We got to get into
no.
Yes.
I have a story.
Yes.
Roxanne has a cell phone story that she said was
All right.
enlightening.
It is. Okay, so Friday, I took my vacation day. I was a volunteer chaperone at Florida Aquarium with my kids, with my daughter, and my sister was a chaperone as well. So after the field trip, we took a ton of photos, and both of our phones were about to die. So I text Doug and I said, hey, my phone's going to die. He had dropped us off down there, by the way. So I needed him to get home. So I said, my phone's going to die. Just plan on later this afternoon. I'll somehow get a hold of you. And then my sister's phone dies. So we're down there. We have no phones. We have our girls. We just had the best day. We rode the trolley. We went to the Edition Hotel. We also kind of took our 6-year-olds on a bit of a pub crawl. We went to the Pearl. We went to the, had coffee there. That's when I saw Ric Flair. I sent you guys a photo of seeing Ric Flair.
Yeah, she's sitting at the bar with some geriatric man with his arm around her. I'm like, Roxanne, what are you doing? And she's like, that's Ric Flair.
Ric Flair was at the Pearl?
He was at the Pearl.
On
at the
Water
bar.
Street.
Yes,
Hey,
yes.
baby.
And I wouldn't have
Did he go, whoa?
I'm sure.
Was he just sitting at the bar going, whoa?
Yeah, he wanted to woo Roxanne.
No, he was there with his wife, and and his friend. I never would have had
instead
a word.
of saying, waitress, does he go, whoa?
Yes,
He wants
Waitress!
wants another drink. Whoa!
Somebody bring the waitress over.
So he was sitting there, and I never would have even known it was him because I never would have talked to his friend because I would have been buried in my phone. But instead, I'm like gregarious, and I'm like, "Hey guys, sorry for bringing the vibe down, having kids at the bar, but our kids were so good. They were just coloring." But anyways, the next day, my sister and I were talking. She goes, "Do you know why yesterday was so much fun?" And I said, "Yeah, because we were drinking." And she's like, "No." I go, "Yeah, because we didn't have the little kids with us." "No, because we didn't have our phones." And it was like we were experiencing the world at a different level.
Can I ask you a question? Why
Yes.
don't you have a battery bank?
I don't want one.
But you don't even need the large, heavier, brick-like battery banks. They've got the little, lipstick size ones that you can just plug into the bottom of your phone.
Yeah, because that wouldn't have given me a day like that day, Friday.
Yeah, she wouldn't have elderly wrestlers trying to eye grope her.
It wasn't.
Hey, one of the questions before
Not at
I forget, I wanted to address this yesterday. We ran out of time. We mentioned yesterday in passing that you did go to St. Pete over the weekend.
Yes, on Saturday
And
night.
you had dinner in downtown St. Pete, you and friends. But you also sent me a note that you guys were going to take an Uber.
Mm-hmm.
And an Uber from your house in West Chase to down Beach Drive in downtown St. Pete. You're telling me that the Uber was $150 from West Chase to St. Pete?
It was $140. But I
come
rounded
on.
up. I rounded up.
How could that be?
I have no idea.
$140. That'll get you to freaking Fort Myers. How could an Uber be $140?
I have no idea, but all I know is I was like, let's, we decided if we're both going to have a glass of wine or whatever we're going to do, we didn't want to drive,
two
right?
things. It's peak hour pricing. Uber's pricing changes with the demand.
Listen, I've never heard of that. From West Chase to downtown St. Pete, $140 Uber quote on the app? Come on, really?
Yes.
All right, so for the driver to make a round trip, to pick up, drop off, and then make it all the way back to where, that's a 2-hour trip on a Saturday night.
But they don't charge you for the round trip.
No, but I'm saying
dude.
That's probably how they amortize their rate.
No, that's not how they do. The Uber, because the Uber banks on you picking up another ride near where you're dropping. All right, you know what? I want to go to phones on this as well. What is the crazy? I'm Roxanne. Something doesn't add up here. I just can't believe it was 100. Let me give out the phone number.
Okay.
800-990-1047. The question is, what is the craziest local rate that you got with Lyft or Uber for not a far drive? Roxanne's claiming $140 from West Chase to downtown St. Pete on Saturday night on Uber. Have you had another experience where you had just an off-the-wall, insane quote on your Uber or Lyft app that you're like, what the bleep? 800, or if we have Uber or Lyft drivers. I mean, that just blew me away when you sent me that email. I'm like, really? All right, 800-990-1047. I'd love to hear quickly. Hey, Andrew, I'm just going to take a couple of calls on this. I'm not going to turn it into a whole segment because we got a lot of stuff to do.
So that's two instances that inflation or the devaluing of our currency screwed me this weekend. Number one, because that's what I
she was
call
at the Pearl buying $21.
No, I just drank.
What are you claiming our currency's devalued like Venezuela now?
Yes, pretty much. That's inflation. That's what people call it inflation, but that's really what it is. But in any case, I second time, because the first time is when I tried to book a hotel at the Vinoy and it was $1,700.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
And then I tried to take an Uber to St. Pete. It's $140. I will tell you, St. Pete was packed. So I think there was something, I forget what it was. There was some couple special events going on there, but I don't know. Maybe that's why the Uber pricing was so high, because there was a lot going on down there.
There was a story circulating about someone claiming they got drugged at a restaurant in Tampa on Howard. I want to get into this because this has caused a lot of stir in the Tampa Reddit. And I want to address it in just a minute. I want to read this claim, and I will redact some of the information, but would love to get people's thoughts on this as well, so stand by. Also, the Don Henley Eagles 16-year-old cocaine-snorting prostitute story, which came out in court yesterday, which I had never heard this.
Nobody really does research on the history of Don Henley.
Oh, and then speaking of surge pricing, the Wendy's story is crazy. Wendy's as in the burger joint.
I don't know.
Like the Pippi Longstocking looking Wendy's, all right?
Not anymore. Have you seen a picture of her now?
What does she look like?
I could tell she was raised around fast food restaurants. That's all I could tell you.
Okay.
I love Wendy's. Did you see her in the recent commercial, Froggy?
The real Wendy? No.
Yeah, she's like, hi, I'm Wendy. And I'm like, oh my God. Holy crap, what happened?
About?
Jeez, Fester.
Kevin is an Uber driver. Kevin on line 6. Hey, Kevin, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
What's the story?
Being an Uber driver, I was driving around Saturday. Downtown St. Pete had a festival, so I was making great buck that day. So what Roxanne's saying, 140 from West Chase to downtown St. Pete is not out of the question. I believe her 100%.
Dude, that is a plane ticket from Tampa to LaGuardia.
Yeah, imagine if it was.
I agree. Yeah. But yeah, it was that busy, just nonstop, and my fares were all in the double digits.
Holy
what
crap.
I was making.
All right, thank you,
Yeah,
Kevin.
they were short drives, 5-6 miles at a time.
Yeah. I was like, I said to Doug, I was like, are we both so desperate for a drink that we're gonna spend $300 to drive to go out tonight? That's what it would have been.
You should have just popped some White Claws in your bedroom. All right, thank you, Kevin. Have a good day.
All right.
All right, let me grab Allison in Dade City. Allison, MJ Morning Show, you're up. Hi.
Hey, so the craziest Uber rate I've gotten was from Ybor to USF. It was $98.
What the?
That's straight up 275. That's like 8 miles.
My God.
Yeah, but it was a Saturday night.
Yeah.
Definitely peak pricing.
And did you go for a $98 5-mile Uber ride?
Oh, no, I had my husband pick me up.
All right. Thank you, Allison. Have a great day.
Thank you.
All right. Sandy in Pinellas Park. Hello, Sandy. You're on the MJ Morning Show.
Hi, MJ. How are you?
We are well. All right. What's your story?
Well, I had to get an Uber from the airport, from Tampa Airport to Pinellas Park. This was in November, and the price was $84.
Yeah, I've had a couple of weird ones as well. Tampa International, like on a Sunday night.
Yeah.
I've had, to my house, I'm like 3 miles as the crow flies from Tampa International, from Blue 124 door to my front door is like, a couple of miles. And I had like $36. It's like, what? Give me a break.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I thought this is crazy.
Yeah. All right, Sandy, thanks. Dawn in St. Pete. Hey, I'll take Dawn. I'll take Tony. Oh, my God. Look at the last call I'm looking at, man. That's crazy. Hey, Tony, you'll be the final call. Don't hang up. Dawn, St. Pete. Hi, Dawn.
Hi.
What happened to you?
It was Tampa Pride a couple of years ago. I had rode over there with some friends from St. Pete, and they wanted to stay later than I did, so I got an Uber back to St. Pete, $76. And part of the problem was 275 was all blocked off. It was like around midnight, and we had to go divert off into Largo and come up the back way, and they charged me for all of that.
Wow. All right, Dawn, thank you. Sorry to hear it.
Have a good day.
You too. All right, final call. Tony is in Lakeland. Yeah, Tony.
Hey, MJ.
What happened?
About 5 years ago, we went to Kansas City to see Garth Brooks play, and after the concert, $196 to go 5 miles.
What?
Yeah, true story. And we actually took an Uber the same day to the show, and it was $35.
Like 100? Did you do it? $196 for 5 miles?
No, we actually jumped on a hotel bus and then took a cab from the hotel to another hotel, back to our hotel.
That's insane. Thanks, Tony. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks.
So, MJ, Saturday night was the Billy Joel Sting concert. And the way that I exited Raymond James Stadium, I exited onto Dale Mabry right by the Steinbrenner Field Bridge, where all of the ride share
That's where they send all ride shares go to Steinbrenner Field. Yeah.
It looked like the most miserable experience ever.
Traffic was pretty jammed. Then there was like a little accident on Himes.
Great.
And that just gummed it up. Luckily, I knew that I didn't want to park there. I knew that I was, hey, nothing against, the folks that live on the side streets off of Himes that, sell a spot in their front yard for $20 or $30. Nothing against you guys, but I'm not dealing with that. So, and I'm all for the entrepreneurial spirit. If you can make $200 by parking cars over your shrubs, you go right ahead and do it.
Screw your landscaping. That's cash money.
I wasn't going to drive. I knew that getting an Uber was going to be ridiculous. Getting in and out.
Did you hire a car?
No, luckily,
limo.
You had a helicopter?
Well, luckily we went with our friends, Bobby and Gigi, and they had a driver that night. Good. So they picked us up at the house and then took us back. But that was the first time, folks, listen. Saturday night was the first time that I was at Raymond James Stadium in like 12 years. The last time was like Monster Jam with Chloe and Julian and Michelle back in 2012. I had not been to Ray J in 12 years. And, of course, we went Saturday night to Billy Joel and Sting. It was a great show. All right, let me get into this Reddit post. And I am going to redact the information. I'm not going to mention the name of the restaurant.
Is it irrelevant to the story?
Well, it's a known restaurant in Soho on Howard in South Tampa.
All right. So it's kind of a fancy uppity bougie place.
This was posted on Reddit a day ago.
Okay.
All right. Drugged at Bleep in Tampa. So I'm reading this verbatim. This person is claiming they were drugged at a local restaurant. So I want to start, I'm reading this verbatim, but I'm going to leave out the name of the restaurant because I don't think that's fair because I can't corroborate this, but it's an interesting story. So I want to start off by saying I have been to blank in Soho 3 times, yesterday being the last time I'll ever step foot in there. As a disclaimer, we did not drink a lot and nowhere near the amount to make us feel this way. We know our bodies and our limits. My fiance and friends were going to go to blank, another place, but their wait was too long, so we decided to go to blank. We chose a certain bottomless drink, I guess they offer. We all can hold our alcohol. This particular drink, mimosas, can tend to make you feel sleepy, but a sleepy as in like, hey, I just need a little afternoon power nap. But yesterday was something I've never experienced, as this was the first time that I've been drugged before. I noticed at the table that I wasn't feeling a buzz or tipsy at all after having a few mimosas. Instead, I felt as though I was a little woozy, foggy, and slow, kind of oddly sluggish. I remember looking at my friend at one point and feeling hazy and wavy and not the normal mimosa brunch wavy you normally feel. When we left brunch, my fiance drove us home and I immediately fell asleep, just completely zonked out. I don't remember getting home or getting inside, but I immediately laid down on the couch and passed the hell out. It felt like I hadn't slept in a whole week, but that I was in some dream state haze. I had only an hour to nap as we had to go back out to a family dinner. My fiance could barely wake me up. I tried drinking coffee. That didn't help. And on the ride to dinner, which was a good 50-minute drive, I couldn't wake up. I slept almost the entire time and told him, I feel like I have been drugged. You could shoot me right now and I'd feel better. I felt absolutely miserable. I texted my friend later on and found out she felt the exact same way. She went home, passed out for hours, woke up woozy out of it, and had a headache. Her boyfriend had a hard time waking her up. My fiance also didn't feel good, but he didn't feel tired since he is prescribed Adderall for ADHD and took it at brunch with food. Today, my friend tested her urine. And just as an FYI, she is not on any of these meds, but her urine came back as positive for benzos and oxycodone.
What?
Jeez.
I knew yesterday when I felt the way I did that it was not normal, but kind of gaslighted myself and thought, nah, there's no way we can get drugged at brunch. Trust your gut. My friend has been drugged in her past and said she felt the same way. Our server yesterday was also sus and a bit cold and bitchy, so I can't say it was her, but I don't trust her. My friend called the restaurant this morning and the manager wasn't in, so she told the hostess, and the hostess didn't care and said, I'm just a hostess.
Yeah, that's a good point. She's just a hostess.
Please be careful if you go here, but honestly, don't ever go here. Again, I'm not mentioning the name of the restaurant, but they should not be drugging people during brunch or at all.
Yeah.
You know, again, this is a claim. I can't corroborate this, but man, when, somebody sent this to me, someone sent me the link to this Reddit from a Tampa subreddit. I'm like, whoa. And then at the very end, it says, edit. In regards to the drug test, since everyone and their mother wants to argue, this was in the comments section, and then they closed down the comments so you couldn't add any more. My friend took one from a doctor and one from Walgreens, the almost $70 ones that test for everything. Even if we play devil's advocate and say there was a false positive for oxy, and maybe that wasn't accurate, both tests came back positive for benzos.
All right. So other than this being well written, how do we know that any of this is true?
Well, that's the point, and that's why I'm not mentioning the name of the restaurant on Howard in South Tampa. But benzos, I imagine that she's talking about, benzos is kind of slang for benzodiazepine.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what she's talking about, and it's a depressant. It's in a depressant class of drugs.
So it makes you slower, kind of makes you pass out.
Yeah, it's like, is it diazepine?
Diazepine,
In that same, family of drugs. And they claim tested positive for that as well as oxy.
Like you said, we're just taking this at face value, but you don't get blackout drunk from mimosas. I mean, you'd have to drink endless, bottomless mimosas to feel like that. And,
that
and the
is
fact
some
is, yes,
expert commentary right there.
It is expert commentary. You only get blackout drunk.
Because Roxanne speaks from experience here.
Yes.
So tell us about getting blackout drunk. Tell us about your blackout drunk experience.
Champagne? When Roxanne talks about mimosas, it's like the farmer's commercial. She knows a thing or two because she's seen a thing or
she's
two.
drunk a thing or two.
Tell me everything, expert.
Champagne is not really my poison,
right,
first of all. But when I heard her say she doesn't remember the ride home, you're going to remember your ride home after drinking mimosas. You might not remember your ride home after tequila or, some other choices, but that kind of jumped out at me.
Anyway, I thought it was an interesting story. It's got quite the buzz going on a Tampa subreddit. And I mean, does this restaurant have an issue? Do they have a bartender that's dropping stuff or a server that's dropping stuff in people's drinks? Again, can't corroborate. Don't know if it's true or false, but hey, it's circulating out there. And out of respect and not knowing for sure, I did redact the name of the particular restaurant.
That restaurant has to know that they're talking about him in this way.
I was even thinking about calling the place up, and I've never been to this place. It's been there for a while, but I have never been to this particular restaurant. It just hasn't happened. Listen, I feel awful. What's the famous place up up in North Tampa?
Sam Seltzer Steakhouse.
No.
Oh, I love that place.
Wasn't that good?
The big cows out front.
I missed that place.
No. What's the famous old school restaurant?
Ivaroni's?
Yes. So I have never been to Ivaroni's.
You gotta go.
I've got to get. I mean, it's unfreaking believable that Michelle and I have been in the Tampa area for 30 years, and I've never been to Ivaroni's. How the hell has that happened?
I don't see how you can even survive.
I even said to Michelle,
you got great meatballs.
You know what? Maybe we'll do a Wednesday date. No, I got a fundraiser tomorrow night. Maybe Thursday. I'll take Michelle to Ivaroni's or something.
Busy guy.
You got some rich man problems, boy.
What are you talking about?
I'm sorry, I can't go to the steakhouse on Wednesday. I have a fundraiser. Oh yeah, it's so great. You go ahead. You go ahead, Mr. Hoity-toity. What's your fundraiser? I'm dying to know now.
Me and my t-shirt and shorts over here.
Yeah.
Mr. Hoity-toity.
Yeah, Mr. Hoity-toity.
Yeah, Mr. Hoity-toity.
Some first world problems here.
All right. Speaking of surge pricing, and then we'll get into the Don Henley, the hooker, the 16-year-old prostitute and coke story with Don Henley from the Eagles that came up in court yesterday. Hey, if you get into a lawsuit, and all kinds of stuff can come out in court. That's just a known component. And the whole hooker, 16 years old, and the cocaine snorting, this got rehashed. And I didn't even know the story.
Do we have any Don Henley music to accompany this?
Oh,
segment?
please, no.
No, I don't think
you don't like the Eagles?
I don't think we play. We don't play anything Don Henley. We have no Eagles in. No, of course we do.
I'm just saying.
I'm not a big Eagles guy.
What, do you want me to play like The Last Worthless Evening or something? From one of his solo projects in 1988 or whatever. What is it? Oh, here, The End of the Innocents. All right, hang on. Let me deal with this Wendy's story. Dirty laundry might be better. All right, so come on. Is this real? Wendy's, the burger joint, and I think Wendy's is good. As far as fast food burgers, I put Wendy's at the top. As far as, the category of fast food hamburgers, it's not quite Shake Shack. Shake Shack is like a click above Well, you know what? Wendy's is good.
Shake Shack doesn't have enough locations,
Right, yeah,
or a drive-through.
But-
Fast food,
but-
I define by having a drive-through.
Right, but as far as fast food burgers, Wendy's makes a satisfying burger. I've always liked a Wendy's, double or a Dave's Hot and Juicy or whatever. But listen to this: Wendy's is planning an Uber-style surge pricing scheme where burgers will fluctuate in price based on demand.
I'm amazed they haven't thought of this sooner.
Oh, wait, really?
I mean, during the dinner rush, the line is huge. Why don't you raise the price of your burgers by 25 cents?
Is Publix going to do this? You know what? The demand for bok choy at 8:47 at night is a little lower. So
you know what? I was at a Publix on like a Monday evening at 9 o'clock. Nobody was in there. It would change if the price was a little lower.
Wendy's is preparing to test surge pricing, like Uber style. It's a model where the cost of their menu items will fluctuate during the day based on demand. So, like a Dave's Hot and Juicy will cost more during lunch or dinner. So, the dinner rush, the lunch rush, the burger will cost you more than if you go at 3:27 in the afternoon.
Were they going to have a ticker outside like a gas station so you can keep changing the
Yeah.
price?
Okay, so
it's going to be like the Chicago Board of Trade or something. You know,
Yeah, it's weird.
Like pork belly prices or.
People just sitting there for 30 minutes waiting for the price to go down.
I'm just going to sit here for a little bit. Give me a second. Wait for the price to drop.
I lost my card.
So
Yeah, I'm gonna corner the frozen orange juice market like in Trading Places.
If you go to sell,
sell, Mortimer, we're ruined. All right, go ahead.
So, do you really look?
Roxanne.
Do you really?
What Eddie Murphy?
Eddie Murphy.
That was Eddie.
That was 40. That's 48 hours.
Yes.
Yeah, it's 48 hours. All right.
So, do you really look at the pricing at fast food places? Does that really affect you?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Well,
like,
'cause-
if a burger's $4.50 and it's $4.70 later, would you even notice?
Well, also fast food prices
are through the roof.
They are. I mean, all prices are through the freaking roof. You know, you get a combo meal these days. That thing used to be, $5.79. I mean, you're like some of these combo meals are now $12.
Yeah, it's over $10.
It's like,
right?
what's going on? Hey, pricing. Chloe didn't say anything, and she's probably sleeping. But Chloe wanted us to get the Nestle drumsticks. We talked about Nutty Buddies earlier this week, so she wanted drumsticks. Have you seen the new commercial where it's Dr. Umstick? It's actually very clever.
Is it?
Yeah. So if you look at drumstick, DRUMST. So if you take the DR from drumstick, you can say Dr. DR, and they've got this little like puppet character now, and it's Dr. Umstick, and he's prescribing like drumsticks. So it's actually a very clever campaign. So for whatever reason, Michelle and I worked out yesterday. We did our Monday workout over at X-Force Body, which I highly recommend if you want to get into shape. X-Force Body, been doing it for a year, and I'm in the best shape I've been in a long time. So Chloe sends Michelle a text because she knew we were going to stop at Publix. Michelle needed to get some sourdough and some eggs. And speaking of eggs, speaking of prices, why the hell have most of the egg prices come down? Still not to where they were. Why? Because Michelle is stuck on these Vital Farms eggs, and those prices have not come down. Why the hell hey, Publix egg buyer, call me now. Publix egg buyer in Lakeland, 800-990-1047. Why have the Vital Farms eggs, why are they still $11.43 for the 18-pack? Why? What is going on? Anyway, where was I? Oh,
Publix egg buyer, don't call tomorrow night because he has a fundraiser.
I mean, shut up. All right,
Okay,
so,
all right.
so back to the drumsticks.
Yeah.
And Chloe didn't say anything, but Chloe told Michelle that when we stopped at Publix to go grab, some of the items she wanted after we worked out, Chloe wanted the little mini Nestle drumsticks, the little mini ones.
Sounds good.
Kind of like, the Trader Joe's mini cones are really good as well. So we go to the frozen section. Do you know how much the package? And it was light. It wasn't like a heavy package. I didn't look to see how many were in there, but they're little mini drumsticks, and the box was light. Do you know how much the box of little mini Nestle drumstick ice cream cones were?
I don't know. How many were there in the box?
I just said I didn't notice how many, but it was a light box. It was not heavy.
I don't know.
$9.79. I'm like, what?
What are you going to do?
I don't know if the price was high at Publix versus if, looking at Walmart. But listen, some prices are more expensive at Publix, but I've seen prices at Publix that were much cheaper than Walmart or
Publix
Target.
Delivery for a 20 count, which is probably the box you're looking at.
Yeah.
$10.79.
All right, so it looks like they're adding $1 for delivery. It was $9.79, and I said to Michelle, I'm not getting that. That is a ridiculous price for little mini drumsticks. $9.79. I didn't buy them, and she's like, "Oh, but she wants." I'm like, "No, I'm not spending $10." What?
You're insane.
What do you mean I'm insane?
Get rid of the drumsticks. What's the matter with you?
Oh my God!
I wasn't spending $9.79 on Nestle drumsticks.
Good for you for taking a
Froggy,
stand.
I just figured it out. MJ's fundraiser tomorrow is for him to buy ice cream for the kids.
Drumstick fundraiser?
It all makes sense now.
No,
adding up.
It's for the Chad Chronister for sheriff re-election, okay?
Oh.
The drumstick has a nice little chocolate
Go,
bottom.
Sheriff, go.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. Anyway, so back to the Wendy's pricing. This is disturbing to me. Do you think at a fast food burger place that the price of the burger ought to go up and down?
No.
For lunch or dinner rush, the burger's more expensive than $2.16 in the afternoon, or maybe 9 o'clock before closing, or whatever. No.
You know who it's really wrong to is anybody who cares about making a budget. If you budget that your burger is going to be X amount and it's not, that's not right.
This is a post piece. Let me just read a little bit of what they wrote. Wendy's is preparing to test an Uber-style surge pricing model where the cost of the menu items will fluctuate throughout the day based on demand. The fast food chain's unappetizing plan, set to be tested in a high-stakes rollout next year, will squeeze more money out of already inflation-battered Americans who may not have the option to eat their meals during off-peak hours. I mean, what is this, the Long Island Railroad? I mean, on-peak, off-peak, what?
Would you even notice? All the boards are digital now, so the prices can automatically change at 4 o'clock, then change back at, 8:30 or something.
Wendy's CEO Kirk Tanner announced the new system on a call with investors, noting the Ohio-based company will invest $20 million on high-tech menu boards that will be able to update prices in real time without incurring overhead costs. Is it going to get to the point where you've got 5 people in line, they've just ordered the Dave's Hot and Juicy double, and because 5 people ordered the same item, it's going to raise the price? Supply and demand.
So the next person who orders...
Nobody ordered the side salad. It's down to 79 cents.
Hey, listen, we got to get rid of this chili. Drop it down.
I love their chili.
I like Wendy's chili too. But listen, but I can't give a check mark to this. I don't like this.
I don't either. You know who else it would benefit is people who have quirky hours. Like if you're going to go eat your breakfast at, eat your lunch at 11 a.m.
Hey, kids, out of bed. It's 11:15 at night. We're going to Wendy's for dinner.
Dinner time.
Just
price is right where it needs to be. Let's go.
Walking in with your 7-year-old in pajamas. I mean, listen, I don't like this. I do not like Wendy's. Is this, things are changing. It's like the whole tip culture and all of these like iPad checkout devices. They flip the thing around and, would you like to leave 20, 22, 25%? No, this is fast food. I don't want to leave any tip. I'm picking something up. I don't want to leave you a 25% tip for you to hand me a bag. All right. Anyway, I don't like it.
All right. You know who does like it? Wendy. Oh, bring me more. I tell you, I pulled up some pictures of Wendy recently, and then I looked up her net worth according to the internet. How much do you think Wendy is worth, MJ?
Like $100,000?
Like 100 what?
Wendy.
Grand?
So Wendy Thomas,
Daughter of Dave Thomas.
Dave Thomas's daughter, Wendy.
Yes.
She's worth $2.5 billion.
All right, so the old man sold the company. She's only worth $100 million.
Oh, that's it?
According to the internet, which is never wrong.
What a pauper. I wouldn't give her the time of day.
You know what? Until I find out she's worth $100 million.
Really?
Oh, that's right. For Wendy's? That's crazy.
So Dave sold the company to private equity cheap or something?
I guess so.
Thanks a lot, Dad.
I always thought that Wendy's was Pippi Longstocking.
So
I know, yeah.
If you look at the at Wendy's collar, it spells out mom.
Oh, it does?
See the M here, and the O and the M?
Yeah.
Spells out mom.
Well, thank you for that ridiculously useless fact.
Dude, I got caught in this rabbit hole of like company logos.
And let's see, when you fold the knees on the Land O'Lakes Indian, her boobs are showing.
Okay, that's perverted, dude. No. But like in FedEx, it has an arrow, which means to go. Or Amazon starts with an A and ends with a Z, and it connects
the A to Z. Yeah. We self-made a Z, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I am not on board. I'm telling you right now, I think Wendy's does a good job.
Yeah.
I like Wendy's, but I am not on board with any kind of surge pricing where the burger could cost you a different price at lunch versus in between lunch and dinner. I'm not on with that.
Don't sleep on.
You know what? That's the kind of deal where I rent a U-Haul and I drive through the drive-through, and I just take the whole damn thing apart.
Don't do that. That's not good advice for anybody.
I take the whole damn, the little metal thing that says 6'8" or whatever that you can't. I'm taking the whole. Hey, there's a video circulating of a fast food deal.
Yeah.
Someone in a box
truck.
Box truck. Did you see that rips the whole freaking truck apart?
I didn't know when it first posted. I saw it online on a website called Daily Dose of Internet, and it was this box truck that was a McDonald's sign.
Yeah. And at the drive-through speaker, they have that pole that kind of goes up and then across, and it has, the height, and the metal sign just ripped the side of this metal box truck open like a can opener, and then the whole door comes off the back. I mean, they destroyed this truck. It is. Hey, Froggy, did you see this?
No, but I want to.
Come here. Bring your mic over to Fester. Bring it. Yeah, look at this. Look at this thing. Hang on. Oh, I can't play. Okay. I better not play the audio. Look at this thing.
Oh, it's like a tuna can.
It is. It is ripping the whole side of the truck off. And this is, do we know where this McDonald's was?
In Georgia?
Was
Augusta,
it
Georgia?
Oh, yeah.
Why is he still going forward?
Hold on, look at this thing.
He can't get out of it. He's wedged in the McDonald's sign.
So again, look at this. It rips the whole freaking door off the back of the truck.
It's a nice cut.
The frame of the truck just pops off.
Look at this thing.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It is insane. Hey, Andrew, do me a favor.
That was awesome.
Put this video up on As Heard on the MJ Morning Show. Can you go grab it? It's all over the place. Andrew will find the video, so you don't have to search for it. But you got to see. Say it again. What about my phone?
What?
You have a caller with an interesting question.
Go to phones.
Oh, he wants me to go to phones. Okay.
Can Andrew talk on the air?
All right. Yeah, so, Andrew, just say, you're the producer. Just say on the air, go to line 2.
You are welcome.
Take line 1 and talk to Ed.
Okay,
right.
Thank you.
Who's on line 2 then? All right, I'll take 1.
Line 2's ringing. Line 1's ready.
Hi, good morning, MJ Morning Show. Hello, Ed.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
We're doing fine, Ed. What's up?
Hey, I was just listening to the Wendy's conversation because I like Wendy's too, and an interesting thing popped into my mind. What happens when Wendy's is really busy and then the prices change and all of a sudden you get the one coffee thrower, employee puncher, fighter complaining that the people in front of them paid a lower price, but they're being charged a higher price.
Oh, man, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, more fights are going to happen at fast food at Wendy's.
Like if the board changes like right in front of you.
And someone was being slow, like, look what happened. Yeah.
They're going to complain racism, and all kinds of stuff. It's just going to cause havoc. And then $20 million to implement that thing just got flushed down the toilet.
Yeah, I can't imagine that experiment's going to be successful. I think it's going to be a backlash.
MJ,
I agree.
MJ, what percentage of Wendy's business would you estimate is through the drive-thru?
Oh, these days, 80% of business is through drive-thrus.
So if they kept it just to the drive-thru.
A lot of fast food restaurants that are building new locations, they're minimizing in-store dining space. That's the whole trend in restaurant design for fast food, is because fewer and fewer people are dining in. You're going to have fast food restaurants that are going to have, they're already building them with only drive-thru, no in-store eating. It's all drive-thru. They're building locations for various chains like that right now. There are models for no in-store dining.
So if you keep it to the drive-thru, you mean the computer automatically changes at a time or after the last sale batches? The next person will never know they're paying a higher price.
Hey, Ed, thanks for the call, buddy. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Ed.
All right, thanks.
Yeah.
Have a nice day. Ed.
I see a lot of senior citizens getting in fights at Wendy's now. My Baconator was supposed to be $2.
$2 bacon.
Is that your old elderly voice?
Yeah. I like that.
All right, moving
Just stick
along.
with it.
8:22 at the MJ Morning Show. This Don Henley revelation, and this story, I guess, has been out there, but I never heard this. I didn't know that Don Henley had a 16-year-old hooker in his bed snorting coke.
I mean, if you hear that a rocker got arrested in the 80s and a hooker was involved, you almost dismiss it now.
I would think maybe Joe Walsh before Don Henley.
Pete Townsend.
Yeah, all right, here's the deal. Don Henley was in court yesterday. There's this whole case going on, prosecution of guys that stole handwritten Don Henley lyrics, I think including the handwritten lyrics for Hotel California. So they were stolen, then they tried to sell it back to him. Anyway, this is on trial in New York. And when you have a trial, hey, the defense, I mean, there's all kinds of discovery, and depending on what the judge allows, as far as what's admitted as far as evidence. So listen to this. Don Henley, who, as you know, is one of the co-founders of the Eagles, he spoke of this cocaine-jammed night back in 1980 when he was busted with a 16-year-old hooker. He had a prostitute in his home in Los Angeles, 16 years old, and she's snorting coke and having seizures. I mean, this is crazy. And on the stand in Manhattan court yesterday, he said that he still regrets what happened. This is what? This is 1980 when this is 44 years ago.
Yeah, 76-year-old Don Henley can look back with some regrets.
Yeah. Don Henley is now 76.
Wow.
And in court yesterday, he was asked about his 1980 arrest as he was testifying in this criminal trial regarding the alleged stolen handwritten draft lyrics of Hotel California. And he said that when the Eagles broke up back in the late 70s, or that he was depressed. Hey, Andrew, when did the Eagles break up that first time? I think it was 79 or whatever. Anyway, he said that he was depressed, and he was so depressed about the Eagles breakup that he called a madam and had the madam send over a hooker.
I mean, you know.
And turns out the hooker was 16 years old. So Eagles broke up in 80. He said on the stand, I wanted to forget what was going on. I wanted to escape the depression I was in. He's on the stand in Manhattan Supreme Court yesterday when prosecutors asked about his criminal history. He said, quote, so I made a mistake. I called a madam and told her I wanted some company, and a few hours later, a young woman arrived at my home. This was around November 20th of 1980, and he invited a bunch of roadies to his home to tell them about the Eagles breakup. And once the groupies and roadies had left his home, this young woman who the madam sent over turned out to be a 16-year-old hooker. Don Henley said that he thought that she was like 20 or 21, and they were having conversation. They shared cocaine. The 16-year-old hoe, she's snorting coke. He's snorting coke.
All right, so she's a victim of some kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah, she's trafficked.
Yeah.
I mean, this is 1980.
Still, yeah.
Wonder what she's doing today. Wonder if she's still alive, right? So she'd be like 60 years old today, right?
Yeah.
So she says, or he said on the stand, we began to talk. We had a little bit of wine. She asked me if I had any cocaine. I said, yep. We did some of that. Henley then testified that he went to bed with the girl but said they didn't have sex. So Don Henley is maintaining, even yesterday, that he had a 16-year-old coke snorting hooker in his bed, but they never actually did it.
I mean, when you can't trust a madam to send over somebody of legal age, I mean, what's society coming to?
When he got up in the morning, he heard a crash from the bedroom, called 911 when he realized that the 16-year-old prostitute was having a seizure. The fire department, EMS, they show up. Probably Squad 51. It was L.A., you know. Bap, bap, bap. Squad 51, Engine 51. 16-year-old hooker down on the bathroom floor.
Don Henley's house.
Seizures. Life in the fast lane house.
Yeah, I don't think they knew she was 16 at the time. You know, they had to figure out who she was in the first place.
Man, and it didn't involve Joe Walsh. I think that was the biggest shocker of all. All right, so the fire department shows up and told him they either had to take her or she could stay in his care. When the girl woke up later that day, he told her to call someone to pick her up. And when her ride arrived, police were at the door and arrested Don Henley. Henley was asked by Assistant District Attorney Aaron Ganandez whether he had found the escape he said he'd been seeking, and he admitted that he made a really poor decision, and he continues to live with that. Apparently, he said, quote, I wanted to forget about everything that was happening with the band. I made a poor decision, which I regret to this day. I have had to live with it for 44 years. I'm still living it today in this courtroom. Anyway, he pleaded no contest to a misdemeanor charge of contributing to the delinquency of a minor back in 1981. And this is all because of the trial going on now. And Don Henley was giving testimony during this trial of a rare books dealer by the name of Glenn Horowitz, an ex-Rock and Roll Hall of Fame curator Craig Incerardi, and memorabilia seller Edward Kosinski. They're accused of trying to sell the original documents from when the band had worked on their 1976, hit album, Hotel California.
So at the end of the day, Don Henley might win this lawsuit or trial or whatever this is.
Well,
but they're making him look as bad as they can in the meantime.
No, this is a prosecution for the guys that apparently stole the lyrics and then tried to extort or to try to sell it back to Don Henley. Yeah, Henley accused Ed Sanders, the writer who wrote a biography about the band, of stealing the lyrics to Hotel California before selling them off to rare collectible sellers in New York. Sanders allegedly sold Henley's notepads to Horowitz for $50,000 in 2005 before the dealer passed off the collection to someone else, to this Incerardi and Kosinski in 2012. And then I think they tried to sell it back to Don Henley. Anyway, the three face charges of conspiracy to possess stolen property and various other offenses. It's a non-jury trial. Prosecutors allege that the trio conspired to sell the handwritten Hotel California lyrics that vanished from Henley's Malibu barn, along with at least 15 notepads and 100 other pages of lyrics.
So he keeps his lyrics in a barn?
Yeah. Henley testified that he agreed to purchase the allegedly stolen 4 lyric pages of Hotel California from Kosinski's auction on a website for $8,500 in May of 2012, in which he called a bitter pill to swallow because he thought that would be the end of it. When the lyric sheets from Life in the Fast Lane popped up at a Sotheby's auction, Henley was offered again to buy them back for $12,000, but he refused. So, again, just a crazy story. And it came up again. I don't know why you'd think the defense would bring up, Henley's. Why would the prosecution bring up Don Henley and the 16-year-old hooker and the coke and all that stuff.
I don't know.
That's good. Do you think any less of Don Henley? Or
I think a lot of that stuff was going on back then.
Yeah, I think if you dig too deep in any classic rocker who you enjoy, you're going to find horrific things. Let me not talk about Steven Tyler. There are some stories about Steven Tyler that I've heard in the last 6 months, and I'm like, okay, I'm done watching anything this guy does. You know, I mean, it's...
Well, you mix that stratospheric fame with drugs and bad behavior.
I mean, there was anybody classic. I would bet that any classic rocker, you go down to a classic rock station.
Pete Townsend got busted looking at kid porn.
Yeah, I mean, there's some horrific decisions made by people who are now very well respected in society.
Didn't Pete Townsend, didn't he claim that he was doing like
research?
Yeah. I was researching kiddie porn.
Yeah, I mean, that's just for a book.
For a dissertation?
For art or something, apparently.
I mean,
and then speaking of celebrities, you saw the P. Diddy story, right?
Is that documentary out yet?
So Sean Combs, P. Diddy, Puff, whatever the hell he is now, he's being sued for sexual assault by a former male employee.
Okay. All right, now I'm listening.
All right, this is from TMZ. And the original story yesterday, Diddy's attorney, Sean Hawley, told TMZ that the guy, Lil Rod...
Oh, my God, that's the worst rap name I've ever heard ever.
Is a liar who filed a $30 million lawsuit looking for a payday.
Well, he's not a liar about something. He sounds like he's being honest about
If they agree on the name Little Rod, what were some of the names they passed up on?
Little, it's a wool.
Hey, we're going to call you...
Tiny Wanker.
No, I don't like Tiny Wanker. No, I don't know about that. Give me something else.
How about Teeny Wee Wee?
Teeny Wee Wee. No, that's not going to cut it.
How about Vienna sausage?
Oh, Vienna sausage. He's not even from Vienna.
How about Cocktail Frank?
I like it. Getting closer. Hey, Cocktail Frank. No, it doesn't work. Give me some more names. Come on here.
Drop the tail.
Drop the bass line out. All right, so...
Little Rod
is accusing P. Diddy of sexual assault. He's being accused of sexual assault by a former male employee. Court documents obtained by TMZ, Rodney Lil Rod Jones, former producer and videographer for Diddy, claims that the music mogul repeatedly sexually assaulted him while he was working on his latest album. This is not long ago, September 2022 to November 2023.
Okay.
The producer alleges that Diddy would grope his genitals and touch his butt to groom him into having sex.
Wait.
Diddy would allegedly walk around naked in front of Jones and would downplay the assaults as horseplay. Jones also claims, this is the Little Willie guy.
Lil Rod.
Little Rod.
Little Willie would be awesome.
Also claims that Diddy subjected him to unwarranted sexual attention from his associates, including Cuba Gooding Jr.
Whoa.
And female cousin of the rapper's girlfriend, Young Miami. Anyway, hey, P. Diddy, what are your thoughts? You're being sued by a guy for sexual harassment.
I'm shocked at this information.
All right, well,
he's constantly getting sued.
We'll follow this. Yeah, a rep is categorically denied. Anyway, so
a guy named Lil Rod. He sounds like a very gentle lover.
Very, very interesting. All right, and then, Roxanne, did you send me the AI failure with Instacart?
Yes, I did.
Oh my God.
Yeah, what was that?
This is insane. So Instacart apparently is using artificial intelligence to come up with like recipes and then pictures of food items that like you can order food from Instacart and then make items, but they're using some kind of an artificial intelligence program and it's kicking out recipes and pictures of non-existent stuff, like from a planet in a different solar system, 58 million light years away. You know, it's...
Well, hold on. I don't get it. What are you saying?
All right. For instance, Instacart is being embarrassed. They're being criticized. They're being mocked because they put out these artificial intelligence-generated recipes of, hey, you can order all of these items on Instagram, on Instacart, and put this together. So, for instance, they have this crazy recipe for hot dog stir fry.
Yeah, that's the one that caught my eye.
And the artificial intelligence has chunks of hot dog bites, but the inside of the hot dog is a tomato.
And then they've got like seeds in the green peppers still, the white seeds. Like who would cook with those?
It's bizarre. It's so there's a recipe for hot chocolate. It's microwave mug brownie with chocolate chips. And the artificial intelligence created photo has a mug of hot chocolate, but portions of the side of the mug are replaced with brownie.
You have to see these pictures, but everything looks disgusting and weird. And like you said, MJ, from another planet.
It's kind of like, it's like the movie Avatar, which I hated. I despise Avatar, but it's kind of like weird crap on some crazy planet. And it's just.
Did you see the Siamese twin chicken?
Yes.
Oh my God, that looks amazingly delicious and disgusting.
It took a thigh with a leg and it like put them together and made it's like nuts.
Grape salad with cream cheese. It's like someone's brain inside.
It's like inventing names and recipes and then putting these artificial intelligence generated photos together of items that just don't exist.
All right. So they have a piece of grilled salmon.
Yes.
Right? And then it looks like they have crumbled feta cheese on top of it. And then they have a slice of lettuce.
Yep.
A slice of lemon.
It's a lemon.
And then they have the lettuce and lemon merge into one.
Yeah. There is a new
Martian.
There's a new hybrid lemon lettuce.
Yes.
And
it's
I like the comments. One guy's like, these just make me uncomfortable.
Of course they do.
I'm here for the party. I love them. I love lemon lettuce.
That's just nuts. It's insanity. I don't know what the hell's going on. Anyway, 8:38 at the MJ Morning Show. We got a meeting at 10 o'clock this morning.
About the studio?
Yes. So I haven't signed my contract yet.
Dude, this better go well for them.
Listen, they're asking me, hey, are you going to sign the contract? Well, listen, I got to be honest. I'm transparent. They've been promising us a new studio since October of 2020. Now we have the studios are failing, and Wild was off the air for 2 mornings because their whole studio died. We could be next, and then I designed a studio and we had certain equipment spec'd out, and now no one told me. I had to find out on my own that the equipment that I thought we were getting, now they're going with some Radio Shack board they found on eBay.
Radio Shack is even around.
They really are. I mean, you know how hard it's going to be to find parts for that?
Listen, I'm just being honest. I haven't signed my contract because I'm having doubts. I'm like, you're told stuff for years, and then things aren't happening. It's like maybe I'm still working. I'm not saying I'm not coming back on. I'm still working every day, but I haven't. We agreed to a new contract. I just haven't signed it yet because I just don't know. I want to put on a great program. We want a new studio. We want to make it look great on TV. I want to grow our digital product. We already have thousands and thousands of viewers a day on MJ TV, but our studio looks like an ass bucket. And I want the experience. I want our studio to look great. I want a great, we've got podcasters in their mother's basement that have a better looking setup than we have.
Beautiful studio.
I've tried to class it up with this brown box here that we use as an end table.
Yeah.
For a nice piece of furniture. It's the nicest piece of furniture in here.
You know what nice accent I noticed on MJTV last night?
What?
The longtime bottle of Lysol that's behind Froggy. And then MJ, I watched an older video before Christmas, and you had all kinds of cleaning supplies. And stuff.
You know what?
The janitor slept.
I put those on the floor because I'm like,
it was in your camera
exactly.
shot.
Hey, Let me point something else out.
Sure.
And there's kind of a mystery because I went around this morning and I asked every single radio station in our building. You know, we've got Country 99.5 QIK.
Sure.
We've got Maxima, the Spanish station. We've got Q105. We've got Orlando and Meredith and Wild. We've got The Shark. So I went around and I was asking, hey, I pulled out this little flyer and I'm like, hey, does this place advertise on your station? Apparently, this place doesn't advertise on any of our radio stations.
Okay.
But do you know that janky-looking
folding table?
Flea market table we have out in our lobby?
So our radio station is like in an office building where you have to walk through a glass door to get into the thing.
Right.
And there's like this, it's always been there, and I've always kind of looked at it.
You know what?
Walked by it.
I think the table was like a product of COVID. When, we have this, they just need to get rid of that.
Why is it there?
Well, it just looks awful. You walk up the stairs to our studios, and we're up on the second floor. We have the whole second floor. And you walk up the stairs. It's like an open lobby. You walk up the open stairs, and you get to like a landing area. And right outside of our main lobby, we have this awful-looking folding table set up with a janky plastic tablecloth or
like
something.
It's a bake sale or something.
Exactly. And there's all kinds of like flyers and business cards, and it just looks low rent.
Somebody drops off like the penny saver
but there's
and puts it out
listen, there's a whole stack of these flyers. I'm holding this up on MJTV. There's a whole stack of these flyers. We'll pull your tooth today.
That's a good service. I gotta write that number down.
Scan to book online. It's a place called Just Pull It.
Oh, man, that could be in numerous places.
I mean, they have a couple of different services.
There's a place on Kennedy called Just Yank It.
Oh.
You know, it's a couple of places on Kennedy.
A couple of places.
Just Yank It. Anyway, so we've got like ads. There are flyers on this janky table for this place that will pull your tooth today. I don't know. Are they dentists or they're just like, I mean,
what a great MJ endorsement that would be.
But is it a dental place, or is it just some guy with pliers? I don't know. But I just thought it was. They've got like 4 locations: Spring Hill, Tampa, Zephyr Hills, Lutz. Se habla español. Walk-ins welcome. Appointments recommended. What if I just want to walk and I pull this tooth? You know what? Froggy, I want to send you there just to have your tooth pulled.
You're insane.
Pick a tooth. Let's
pull my gold one.
So are we giving away concert tickets today?
We are. We've got Train and REO Speedwagon at the Mid-Florida Credit Union Amphitheater in August, and we'll give those tickets away next hour. All
right, so that's
9 o'clock hour.
That's an awesome prize.
Right.
Somebody wins tickets to see Train and REO Speedwagon
and a tooth pull,
and they come to the radio station. Hey, I need this flyer. Thanks, guys.
They come to pick up their ticket. Well, we probably email. We're probably all digital tickets.
All right, so when we did MJ Payday, you have to physically come to the studio to pick up your check.
But I'm just curious. This tooth pulling place where it's called Just Pull It. Do they just pull teeth? It doesn't say anything else. It's no insurance accepted, not valid with other offers. Extraction. Exam, X-ray included, cash or credit card only. But just pull it.
Just pull it.
It's like almost like the Nike slogan.
But the flyers are just sitting on this table in front of our front door, and I don't know if they're advertisers or just.
So weird.
You know what? I'm throwing that table in the dumpster. Seriously, during a break, I'm going to go there. I'm going to throw that table in the dumpster.
Yeah.
Because it looks just janky, all right?
I'll tell you right now.
Extract it like a tooth.
Next week, when you're listening to Q105 and you hear, "Hi, this is MJ. You have an achy tooth. Let me call my friend.
Just pull it.
Just pull it.
No
insurance.
Pull it.
Cash or
just pull it. Pull it.
I wasn't aware.
Or how about this one? Pull it.
Oh, yeah.
Pull it real good.
Oh, pull it real, yeah. Pull it. Pull it real good. Yeah, I love it. A little salt and pepper. Here on the MJ Morning Show.
No insurance, no problem.
But again, I was surveying the building. Hey, does this Just Pull It place? Did they advertise, or did someone just drop flyers off on our? You know what it's like. It's it's like at a market. They've got the cork board with people selling like a lawnmower. You like rip the tab off with the phone number.
How do people even know that table exists to drop crap off on?
I don't know. But listen, it's a legitimate business. I was unaware of the business model of a place that just pulls teeth.
I'm sure it's a fine service.
I mean,
and they serve some.
Listen, I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do a great job. It doesn't say that it's a dentist's office, but I guess it is. I'm sure. Can you get a cavity filled as well, or are they just yanking teeth?
No, that's our sister company down the road.
Just fill it.
Just fill it. This is just pull it.
This is just
That's
pull
the
it.
colonoscopy company.
All right, so I have a question. I don't know the answer to this.
Yes.
Do you have to be a licensed dentist
to pull teeth?
To pull a tooth?
Yeah, listen, I'm sure there are dentists in this place. No. But
okay.
So if folks, if you need a tooth pulled, just pull it. Or maybe you got a fetish and you just want to have you.
Or maybe you're a kid who's low on cash and you want to go get your teeth pulled so you can leave them under your pillow.
Maybe you got a gumming fantasy or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I
don't know.
That's a kink.
Just gum it.
That's a totally different service.
Anyway, there's a whole stack of these flyers. I saw this morning. I'm like, we're talking about that. So,
I'll tell you right now, Fester and Froggy are available for endorsement opportunities for Just Pull It.
8:47 at the MJ Morning Show. Hey, before we take our break, I think we're at an hour and 20 minutes, so I want to go a little over hour and 20 minutes of nonstop MJ. Have you heard of hostage tape?
Is that for like games at home?
Have you heard of this? Yeah, it's another fetish deal. Yeah. Roxanne, you have a roll of hostage tape in your house? So seriously, there's a product called hostage tape. Fester, look it up.
Yeah.
Apparently, these are like black tape strips that come in looks like a little like Altoids kind of little box.
So I type in the word hostage, and the first thing that comes up is hostage tape.
And it's a product, you're supposed to tape your mouth shut at night to prevent snoring.
That's what I saw. I heard of it, but I couldn't think of where.
It's called hostage tape.
But you shut your mouth and it forces you to breathe through your nose and you don't snore.
Hey, Roxanne, can I put some hostage tape over your face?
I do actually need my chin waxed a little bit, so that might help.
Yeah, it's not that kind of tape.
Yeah, so I saw an ad for this last night, and it's called hostage tape. 30 little pieces of black tape for $25. Man, I'm in the wrong freaking business.
No kidding. We could
$25 for 30 little strips of black tape. You know what they look like? You know the black marks that people put under their eyes if you're playing sports, like the anti-glare stuff?
Yeah.
It's like this oval, elongated, pill-shaped black tape that you put over your mouth. And the brand is called hostage tape. It's mouth tape to stop you from breathing out of your mouth at night. So you're forced to breathe out of your nose. And I guess the theory is that you're not gonna snore.
Sounds like torture.
But I never heard of this product, hostage tape.
So they also sell nose strips. They sell everything they can to help open you up.
I'm just thinking of hostage videos. I'm thinking like beheading videos from Al Qaeda or something. Hostage tape. Anyway, it's a real product.
I mean, according to them, they have a bunch of high ratings. A year supply is $199.
For why don't you just go to Home Depot and get a roll of black electrical tape for 99 cents?
Okay, because this doesn't stick. It comes off easy. It doesn't you take off duct tape off of your skin. It's an abrasive.
Yeah. Right, but what do you care about your hostage? You don't care if it's abrasive.
Yeah.
We're not actually kidnapping somebody, Roxanne. This is just to make sleeping better. You're wearing it. You're buying it for yourself.
If you want to quit snoring, go buy some hostage tape and hold up a copy of today's newspaper. You know what? Here in Tampa, you couldn't do that.
No, you couldn't.
Seriously.
It had to be a Wednesday or Saturday.
Or Sunday.
Wednesday or Sunday.
I mean, how pathetic is it that we're in a massive market with 3 million people and we've got the Tampa Bay Times only publishes a newspaper on Wednesday and Sunday. What is going on? That's crazy. So like proof of life videos where they hold up the newspaper, if you're shooting a proof of life hostage video and you're in Tampa Bay, you can only hold up the Wednesday or Sunday edition of the Tampa Bay Times.
You know what they can do, MJ? After 10 o'clock, they can have the hostage stand in front of YouTube in front of our daily live stream.
There you go. 8:51 at the MJ Morning Show. Quick break. This ends over an hour and 20 minutes of nonstop MJ Morning Show. We do it every morning. We go nonstop, no commercials, no music, for over an hour and 20 minutes. All right, 9 o'clock hour is straight ahead. When we get back, man, we're loaded. There are more tipping stories we got to get to. Oh, Taylor Swift's father is accused of smashing a photographer. Yeah, and doesn't he live in downtown St. Pete?
Yeah, he has a house by the pier, right?
Yeah, what do you think he's taking? What do you think Taylor pays Daddy?
He probably has
to run her billion-dollar empire.
Oh, he probably has his finger in for 15%.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a lot of money. All right, 8:52 MJ Morning Show. We're back in minutes. We're loaded next. Don't move. I'm going to give you. 9:03 MJ Morning Show Tuesday morning. If you didn't hear the big announcement, the MJ Morning Show, we're giving away $1 million. This has not been done in the Tampa Bay market. I know that for a fact. I don't know if it's been done nationally ever. We're giving away $1 million Friday morning. Your chance to call in and win $1 million. It's going to happen between 7:45 and 8:15 Friday morning here on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. Stand by. Hey, also the time change that I experienced, because I was 14 hours ahead with my trip with Chloe scuba diving. I think potentially last night I finally got back to normal. You know that they say that for every hour that you change time zone wise, it takes you a day to a day and a half to recover. So yeah, if you do the math, you know, with my trip with Chloe scuba diving over in Indonesia, let's just go with 1.5 days, and we were gone for 2 weeks. Actually, a little. I'll just say 2 weeks. So if you take 14 days times 1.5, that's like a 21-day recovery. You know, and yesterday would have been like 16 days or that we're back. And
that's about right.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I've been messed up. You know, my sleep schedule has been screwed up. I've been sleeping for like 4.5 hours in the middle of the day, and I'm just trying to get back to normal. And I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't like cancel the trip. I'd like to go back tomorrow. I'd love to go back to Raja Ampat, or Roger's armpit, as Roxanne dubbed it.
Mm-hmm.
I'd go back in a minute.
Let your daughter ride around with strange men on scooters.
Please stop it. But I think I'm finally getting back to this is not like, hey, I went to Chicago, I was an hour back. Or, hey, I went to Vegas. I was Pacific time, man. I'm just trying to get over the jet lag. I was 14 hours ahead. That's almost as far as you can get away from Tampa's time zone.
Yeah, it messes you up.
Yeah, oh, yeah. And it has really screwed me up. And I think I'm finally, it felt like last night might have been the night that I'm somewhat back on track. So that's positive. Roxanne, I want to address something with you in just a minute. Very, very serious and important. We'll do that in a moment. First, though, friend of the MJ Morning Show just texted me during the break that he uses hostage tape and loves it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I guess it would give him a better night's sleep because he's not snoring.
Don, the IT guy.
Really?
Yeah, Don, the IT guy sent me a thumbs up in my texts to hostage tape. Hang on a minute. I didn't even know this product existed. Like, I didn't know that, like, just pull it.
I mean,
you know, I didn't know that the dental place they'll pull your teeth. Just you got a bad tooth. Just pull it. That's, you know,
what else do you do?
It's a very, very clever marketing concept.
Yeah. Wrap up a person's hands you're holding hostage.
Just, by the way, a few people called in and they said, yeah, it's a legitimate it's a legitimate real dentist.
I've had great experiences with them.
But the marketing angle, I like it. Just pull it.
It's kind of opposite of soft touch, right? Isn't that a marketing angle for some dentistry?
Or sedation dentistry or whatever. Yeah, let me get Don, the IT guy, on the phone. Apparently he uses hostage tape. I don't know if it's every night, but I guess we'll find out. You know, Don, the IT guy, who has supplied us with, Don, hey, it's MJ and the crew.
Hey, MJ, how are you?
So obviously you're listening to the show and you heard me just mystified. I had no idea there was a product called hostage tape where you tape your mouth shut while you sleep to stop snoring.
It's more than that. I mean,
it's to stop like mouth breathing, right?
A year or so ago. So that's the idea is that it's forcing oxygen up through your nose than through your mouth, which is much more efficient.
Now, who turned you on to hostage tape? Beirut tape.
I think honestly, I think I saw an ad somewhere, did some research, read up on it, and I'm like, yeah, I'll try it out. And
how long have you been using it? You said a year?
Probably a little over a year.
Do you use hostage tape every night?
I wouldn't say every single night, but yeah, when I think about it, I mean, it's pretty easy to use, and I think it costs what it does because it's flexible and you can take it on and off. So.
Can you reuse it, or is it one time only?
No, Yeah, it's a one-time only thing.
Gotcha. Like last night, did you wake up this morning with hostage tape on your face?
I did not use it last night. No.
Okay, all right.
So do you find that you snore like a lumberjack when you have it off?
Well, I mean, I wear a CPAP anyway, so so that kind of takes care of snoring.
You sound like a really good time.
DonTheITGuy.com for all your IT needs.
Thanks, Don.
Yeah, friend of the MJ Morning Show if you're a business. Oh, hey, I got a lead for you, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a Unitard.
Yes.
Yeah, Unitard texted me yesterday. Hold on, let me share this here quickly.
Yes, his name is Unitard.
Unitard, where's his... yeah, he sent me a text. Yeah, here we go.
One of our finest interns.
Yeah, hey, can you send me Don the IT guy's number, so-and-so who does so-and-so, also the marketing director for a group that owns restaurants, and they're looking to switch IT management companies for the restaurants. So I might have a good lead for you, okay?
Appreciate it. Yeah, definitely.
It's 10% of the sale.
Hey, and if you befriend Unitard, maybe he can put you on his YouTube Live or YouTube TV account like he has me and Froggy.
No, I have my own.
No, you have an icon.
Don, I'll send you the info. Thanks for calling or thanks for letting us call you on your hostage tape.
Thanks, guys. Have a good morning.
All right. It is 9:09 at the MJ Morning Show, and I just want to take a moment here to recognize that it is Roxanne's birthday.
Yay! Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Rox.
Think of it much.
Would you like to deliver a birthday speech on
No.
your birthday?
You know
I'm
what?
good.
The floor is yours. Whatever you like to say. Uninterrupted.
Daviana's coming in soon. She'll be here in probably about 15 minutes.
She's taking an Uber in from West Chase for $150.
It cost $120, so we said that's in our budget. We're not going all the way to downtown St. Pete. She's in the Uber by herself, no car seat. She's probably smoking a cigarette in the front seat.
Yeah. Is Doug bringing her in?
Yes.
So Big Doug is coming in?
He's just going to drop her and run. He's got to go to Orlando or something.
Oh, great. For your birthday, we get to see Doug.
Hold on.
Sounds wonderful.
So you live in West Chase. He drove here, and then now he has to go to Orlando?
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Why don't you
He
just bring her?
drives-
Why don't you just bring her in this morning at 6 o'clock?
I thought about that, but that's kind of disruptive to her. I think she could have sat on my lap the whole time and colored and been entertained, I think.
Let me get this straight.
Yeah.
It's your birthday, and Doug is fleeing?
Just he's got to go check on a property over there.
All right, but he's coming. You guys going to dinner tonight for your birthday?
Yeah, they asked me where I want to go. I haven't decided yet.
So, hold on. This is important. Where do you want to go?
Well, it's funny. I was almost late this morning because the kids were fighting because I'm taking Daviana. We're going on like a mommy and me sort of afternoon, right? After work today. And when my older daughter found out, she had a meltdown, even though I spent all Friday with her. So
so the young one is having a meltdown that you're
The
doing.
older one.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Which one's coming in?
The baby.
The baby's
4-year-old.
4,
Mhm.
and your 6-year-old had a meltdown.
That we were spending the day together.
Yeah, you gotta get a grip on that because that's not going to get better.
No, it's going to get worse. They
Yeah.
fight. Did your kids fight?
No, they were pretty good.
My kids
Yeah. Chloe
fight
and Julian, they got along. They didn't fight.
I think it's same sex.
Julian once took a swivel sweeper and caught Chloe's hair up in it.
Yeah.
Remember Anthony Sullivan? Anthony Sullivan gave me a swivel sweeper, and Julian took it and swivel swept Chloe's hair, and her hair was. I thought we were going to have to shave her head off, and Michelle took like 2 hours to untangle Chloe's hair out of the swivel sweeper. All right.
That's crazy. So
Tell you what, we ought to put some hostage tape on your 6-year-old's face.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Clam her up a
no,
little bit.
it's a problem. She doesn't want anybody else to have any fun if she's not a part of it, and it's a problem.
So where are you going for dinner tonight?
I've narrowed it down to 3 places.
What are the 3?
Sushi Alive.
I'll decide.
Okay.
I'll decide where you get.
That's his present to you. A good recommendation.
Sushi Alive. I don't know where that is, but I'm imagining it's in West Chase somewhere.
Mhm. Very close, convenient. We practically go there every Tuesday, anyways.
Can I get some Miru Guy there?
I don't know.
I
what
love Miru
is.
Guy. Giant clam.
I don't know. I'll have to look on the
Geoduck,
menu.
giant clam.
It's quite good.
Yeah. Oh, I love Miru Guy is the best. And you can have 3 different cuts of it. Yeah. Anyway, so Sushi Alive.
Sushi Alive or
You have 2 more to go.
Meat Market.
Meat Market.
Mhm.
Okay.
Easy to get a last minute reservation.
Yeah, because you have a you have an interest in meat market.
Exactly. And
Right.
then the other
Chili's.
option is Ozona Blue, because that was what spawned the whole argument. Is I'm probably going to go to the beach with
I don't know.
Dadiana.
I don't know what is Ozona Blue.
It's great. It's down on the water.
Where?
and
Where?
it's
In St. Pete?
in Ozona.
Oh, in Ozona. Oh, yeah.
Hold on.
that's
Do people not eat at Chili's or Applebee's?
No.
Or Tijuana Flats?
Not for a birthday.
Are you kidding me?
Just not.
Weekday birthdays suck, by the way.
Yeah. So
Weekday birthday
Ozona it's like Dunedin kind of.
It's between Dunedin and it's at the tip of Palm Harbor.
Yeah,
and
I'm
then-
sorry.
and then
Palm Harbor. Rather.
Further
Yeah,
up would be
I'm sorry.
Tarpon.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like a lot of people locally, they never even heard of Ozona.
Dude.
But Ozona, that's where my tire guy is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Craig from Pit Stop Tire, who does all the tire work on our cars. Craig's Pit Stop is in Ozona, and it's kind of Palm Harbor, but it's like it has its own like zip code, and it's Ozona, Florida. So
yeah,
Ozona Blue. I guess it would make sense that it'd be in Ozona and not in Sefner.
Froggy, remember your birthday when I took you to Circle K, said you could have anything you want off the rollers?
Why don't you go to Ruskin Blue?
That was a good day.
That was a good day, right? That was a good lunch.
How about Dover Blue, Sefner Blue, Thenota Sassa Blue?
You don't want to go to Sefner Blue.
Anyway, have a happy birthday.
Thank you.
And hope you, wherever you end up, those are the three possibilities.
Those are the three possibilities. We'll have the exciting conclusion tomorrow.
I can't wait.
Because I can get you into Chili's.
Man, I got the Texas Roadhouse app. I could put your name in up to an hour early. Think about it.
Thank you.
Think
I'll
about
think
it.
about it.
Think about it.
What about Pont?
Oh, Pont's a great choice as
Could
well.
you get me in there tonight if I wanted?
Yes.
What about
Yes.
my other favorite Italian?
I can make a call to Chef Pont.
What about Arby's?
You know what? Chloe was in on the show last Friday.
Yeah.
Chloe sat in for Roxanne, and Chloe, when we left the studio, said, "Dad, I'm craving Arby's. I haven't had it in a while."
There's one right here.
That's where we
That's where
stopped.
you
Yeah,
went.
perfect.
Right down the street from the radio station on 4th Street. Chloe had a combo meal, and that's when I noticed that, the combo meal prices at all the fast food restaurants, the prices are,
Through the roof.
yeah, I mean, the combo meals just have gone up dramatically. But Chloe, her curly fries were delicious. I ate half of them.
Yeah.
And then she got a roast beef sandwich. And, she's like, man, I was just craving Arby's. She hadn't had Arby's in a long time.
Did she opt for the Jamocha shake?
She did not.
Oh,
Arby's, we have the meats.
Yeah.
for Chloe.
Yeah, exactly.
We
So,
have the meats.
all right, well, let me know if you want a hard to get res. I'm happy to help you out and make some calls for you.
That's very sweet.
So
I want to see what kind of pull you have.
I'll tell you what. If you want one of the hardest reses in town, and there are several places, this is my birthday gift to you. You tell me where you want to go tonight for dinner. We'll get you. Want to go to Roca? You want to go to Burns?
That's what I was trying to think,
You want
yeah.
to go to Pont? You tell me. All right.
I like all
that'll be
those.
my birthday gift to you.
Yeah.
I love that. I appreciate it. I accept the gift. However, I'm really leaning towards Ozona Blue because I really want to be by the water.
Okay, well, you don't need me for that.
Yeah, look at MJ
No.
flexing his reservation muscle on a Tuesday. I'll get you in on a
That's right.
Tuesday.
On a hot Tuesday night.
Where do you want to go on Tuesday? I'll get you anywhere. But you call me
at you with
Friday
the
at
pull.
9:30. How about then?
All right, 9:17 at the MJ Morning Show. Speaking of food, now the CEO of Kellogg is getting some backlash. What did the CEO of the Kellogg company say that's causing some folks to go, ooh,
They're great.
they're great?
That's a good one.
Follow your nose and only know. Hey,
What'd he
Frog-
say?
What are some other?
Yeah.
Hey, watch it. All right. I've heard the Toucan Sam jokes for years.
Yeah, I know.
All right. You even painted the damn.
We
nose.
did once paint Froggy's nose like the toucan bird.
All right.
In the
what are some
Fruit
other-
Fruit Loops commercial.
Fruit Loops, Rice Krispies is Kellogg's, Apple Jacks.
Ooh, I love it.
Frosted Flakes, Special K.
Yeah, the only thing I know
They
is
should change Special K's name.
yeah,
Special K.
yeah, Special K's a freaking cat tranquilizer.
Also under the Kellogg umbrella are Eggo waffles and
Yeah.
Pop-Tarts.
All right, well, let me tell you what the CEO of Kellogg said. His name is Gary Pilnick, And, well, he's getting a little bit of backlash because he's suggesting that with the price of food, that if people want to save money on dinner, that they should eat his breakfast cereal for dinner.
I used to eat cereal for dinner sometimes when I was a kid.
Oh, listen, we do backward. When the kids were little, we did something called, I dubbed it backward dinner. And that's where we would have like breakfast cereal and eggs and bacon and pancakes for dinner. So this is something that I coined years ago. And every once in a while, I don't know, once every couple of months, and the kids loved it.
Kids love it.
We would do backward dinner, and we would do a whole breakfast array for dinner.
So why is this a bad thing?
Now, here's the story. The Kellogg CEO, Gary Pilnick, has raised some eyebrows because he's advising people, because of soaring grocery bills, that they should just eat their breakfast cereal for dinner instead. The cereal category has always been quite affordable, and it tends to be a great destination when consumers are under pressure. He did an interview last week with CNBC, and he's getting some backlash. It's like, all right, so times are tough. The stock market's on fire, but people are saying that hey, economics are not great for them. Prices are through the roof, and he's saying, hey, American families getting bashed and trashed with high food prices. Hey, have some of our Kellogg cereal for breakfast. And if I need to remind you of some of the brands, it's Frosted Flakes, Fruit Loops, Frosted Mini Wheat, Special K, Rice Krispies, Raisin Bran, Honey Smacks. Used to be called Sugar Smacks. Remember?
Right, remember that?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, Apple Jacks, Corn Pops.
You know what the craziest thing about this guy speaking about this is?
What?
His aisle, the cereal aisle, has probably percentage-wise jumped up more than any other one.
And it's not just that. And thank you for leading me down that path, because I'm about to point something else out. Have you seen how freaking narrow the cereal boxes have become? Those cereal boxes used to be a nice, thick rectangle, and now it's like a little pamphlet. It's like the size. The cereal boxes have become so damn thin, it's ridiculous.
Between the shrinkflation of the product and the inflation of the actual price, cereal is no longer an inexpensive proposition.
Let me tell you another gimmick that I'm noticing. I love blueberries. I'm a blueberry fanatic, and yes, you'll see me at Publix feeling and fondling the berries.
Yeah.
You might see me at Trader Joe's. I'm sorry. I use the wipes at the front door.
Yep.
I've cleaned my hands with the sanitizing wipes, and I'm not buying blueberries without fondling the balls.
And
all right.
If it's a more
I'm fond because I will not buy mushy blueberries. I have to have a firm blue ball blueberry. Okay. Seriously, the worst thing in the world are mushy blueberries. Blueberries have to have a snap. They got to have a crunch. And so I will test. I will feel some blueberries on the top. I'll do a mid fondle, and then I'll go to the very bottom to get a bottom fondle. I got to touch the blueberries. You got to make sure that they're not mushy because prices are up. And here's the other gimmick. The other thing is, what's going on with the pint of blueberries? You used to be able to get a whole pint, and now it's like 8 ounces, 11 ounces. They're nailing us on the weight of the blueberries now. What's going on? Again, it's like shrinkflation. We've secretly taken 5 ounces of blueberries out of this container, and the price is higher. Let's see if the customer notices. Yeah, I'm noticing.
Also, with the cereal, they're in the bag, and that's even thinner. It's not even the width of the box. The bag is small.
Yes, the bag is small, and you know what else? The bag is puffed up with air and not filled the whole way with cereal.
Yeah.
What a scam.
Yeah, the shrinkflation. Yeah, this guy opened up a can of worms because you go to the cereal aisle. I'm trying to think where we bought cereal recently, or the kid, where were we? But, I know. We were in Vail. It was over Christmas time. We bought some cereal for the condo while we were out in Vail over Christmas time. And I'm like, what the heck? I couldn't believe how thin the box of, I think was it Cheerios, or it was so, I was like, this box is half the thickness of how it used to be. All right, 9:22 at the MJ Morning Show. Let me grab a quick break here. Final chunk of the MJ Morning Show is next. We'll also give away the REO Speedwagon and train tickets in the next segment. More details on how you can win $1 million this week on the MJ Morning Show. No one's ever done this. We're doing it. Friday, your chance to win $1 million. Details on the way. Back in a minute, MJ Morning Show here on Q105. And if Power Pig days going
Friday
back,
nights.
1994, 1995. Before the MJ Morning Show, or MJ and BJ back then took off and we became, very popular. I was doing like club gigs on a Saturday night. I'm going to downtown Tampa. I'm just getting on the mic, twice an hour. Hey, it's MJ from the MJ and BJ show on, and I'd get like $200 cash. I'd go to the back room. There's piles of money on piles of money on the desk and just peeling off 20s to me, The Crush. Remember, what is that building gone now? Or
yeah, it was the corner of
Broreen or whatever it was. Yeah, the old Crush.
We turned into Club XS later.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And we used to have to make the announcements from Stand the Man's booth.
I think Brian Fink is still there, just in the parking lot on Saturday nights.
Yeah.
I think
he just sits in his car with a microphone.
Sits in his car on Saturday night. All right, final chunk of the MJ Morning Show here on a Tuesday. Yeah, let me know if you want to utilize my reservations connections for your birthday tonight, Roxanne.
I appreciate that. That's so thoughtful.
Yeah, happy to do so.
I think Roxanne can handle it.
Yeah. So Taylor Swift's dad is accused of slugging a photographer in Australia during a little altercation.
Wow.
Taylor Swift's dad ought to just stay at the condo in downtown St. Pete up on the 20th floor. Why doesn't he just stay there?
What's he doing punching a photographer?
Yeah, allegedly slugged a member of the paparazzi while Taylor and her father were out in Australia early this morning. So this is, I guess, yesterday for us, but Australia time. Scott Swift has been accused of assaulting a photographer at Sydney's Ferry Wharves while they were exiting a yacht. We're on a yacht in Sydney Harbour. Yes. Yeah, local police in Sydney did not confirm that it was Taylor Swift's father, but said that a 71-year-old man beat up a 51-year-old man at the wharf at about 2:30 in the morning, according to a New South Wales police spokesman.
Beat up, huh?
Yeah, so apparently it was Taylor Swift's dad.
Did they arrest him?
Well, it's 2:30 in the morning, and I guess he was getting off a yacht with Taylor. And listen, the paparazzi are going to try. It doesn't matter where you are, whether you're in New York, whether you're coming out of your place in Greenwich Village or Tribeca, rather. It doesn't matter where you are. If you're Taylor Swift, the paparazzi, they know where you are. They're going to follow you. They're going to take pictures. And apparently Taylor Swift's father wanted no part of it and allegedly, according to reports, attacked a photographer.
Mr. Swift.
He's not used to it by now. She's only been famous for 20 years.
Yeah. I'm thinking that Taylor needs to write a song about, I slugged the paparazzi down under, kind of maybe use like a sample from, Men at Work or something,
My dad punched the cameraman down under. It's a work in progress.
Yeah. So, hey, you heard it here. Taylor Swift dad, who lives apparently in downtown St. Pete, right?
Apparently has a nasty violent streak.
It's him. He's the problem. It's him.
Yeah.
Hey, when life hands you Don Lemon, what do?
You make Don Lemonade?
Don Lemonade.
Okay.
Guess what? Did you see the CNN settlement for Don Lemon? Holy frigamoly.
Because he was fired.
Don Lemon was fired, but still had a contract. Don Lemon just settled with CNN and is walking away with $24.5 million.
For what?
His contract, right?
Yeah, Don Lemon, former primetime host over at CNN, has agreed to a separation deal with the network. That's taken a while. Didn't they blew him out a couple of years ago already.
April 2023.
Yeah.
Less than a year.
Oh, so it's been a year. All right. So almost a year. Sources told The Wrap that Lemon has agreed to a separation deal with CNN for approximately $24.5 million, which would be the full complete pay from his final contract, which extended for an additional 3.5 years after he was fired last, what did you say, April? $24.5 million. He was making that much money for like no ratings?
He's really good.
My God. I mean, CNN, they've had a tough time. You know, listen, I don't watch any nighttime cable. Cable TV and cable news, you know, MSNBC is way too far to the left. You know, Fox News, I don't know what they've done to that place, but it's, you know, a little wacky over there. You know, I got to be honest, for like just to get like in the middle of the day, if I want to see what's going on with news, I'll put CNN on just to kind of see if there's a big story brewing. But any of the nighttime crap, I just avoid it.
If I need to know what's going on in the news, I go to IG and I just look for some funny memes.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I just watch Seinfeld.
Hey, you're laughing, but a lot of millennials and Generation Z, they're getting their news from conspiracy garbage reels on TikTok and Instagram. And a lot of that stuff is just bogus. It's just garbage. So, you know, but the nighttime cable fare, whether it's just garbage.
Yeah, all the networks.
I watch none of the nighttime stuff. Zero, nothing, zilch of any of the nighttime cable news network stuff. Whether it's CNN, Fox, MSNBC, I'm not watching any of it. So Don Lemon, $24.5 million. They're paying him out the entire contract.
You know what he got in trouble for initially?
Yeah, what was the story with him?
It started on...
And then Cuomo got in trouble, too.
Well,
yes.
He got in trouble for helping his brother in the campaign.
What did Don Lemon get in trouble for?
CNN this morning, when he was on, he received backlash for comments he made about Nikki Haley being past her prime. And then he had another really aggressive interview with somebody, a confrontational interview with
Vivek Ramaswamy.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
A guy who ran for president. You know, and so he was wearing people out there.
Oh, that's right. Didn't Poppy Harlow? Didn't she like noticeably get upset on the air because
He screamed at her.
Well, Don Lemon made the comment that Nikki Haley at 51 was past her prime, and that's ridiculous.
What the hell does that mean?
That, you know, and the suggestion was that a male of that age or older would not be past his prime, but a woman at 51 past her prime. That is ridiculous.
A man running for president.
He's
at
like
51.
60.
Yeah, he's just coming into his prime. Wow. Listen, I don't know if this guy deserved to be fired or not, but he is getting paid. Good for him.
$24.5 million. I'm shocked.
Listen, if they're going to put a contract in front of him, he just signed it.
Oh, he did. And obviously they needed to pay him out because he had a contract. But I'm just shocked that with the low lackluster ratings that they were getting on CNN, that they were, you know, paying, you know, that kind of money.
It's a lot of money.
Exactly. That's a boatload of money. On the further entertainment news here on the MJ Morning Show, the fans of Yellowstone are begging Kevin Costner to finish the show. Now, I have not seen any Yellowstone.
I want to. I haven't watched any episode of Yellowstone. I know some people really get into it.
No, not some people. Everybody that I know raves about Yellowstone.
Yeah.
Everyone says, hey, MJ, Todd, whatever. You got to watch it. A couple episodes. You're
What's it
hooked.
about?
Sounds
stupid.
You're going to love it. So everyone says that Yellowstone is just phenomenal, and it's on our list. Listen, I didn't get to the second season of The Bear yet with Michelle. We're just kind of backed up. I mean, the final season of Ted Lasso. We've got 3 more episodes to watch. Because I got a bunch of the screeners. We don't subscribe to Apple TV, but I get a bunch of the shows that were nominated for the SAG-AFTRA Awards. So, I get some of the screeners, and like Ted Lasso, we're almost a year behind, I think. So we're about to finish that up. But trust me, folks, Yellowstone is on the list. Michelle and I are absolutely going to watch Yellowstone. There's just so much stuff that we got to catch up on that, you can't watch it all. There's a lot of freaking material out there. It's a lot of stuff.
But you got to try. You just got to try to watch it all.
You got to try to watch it all.
But the first trailer for Kevin Costner's Horizon, an American Saga, I guess has been released, and that's caused people to say, please, what about your John Dutton character? Come on, come back. Because
he's starting another show? What the hell?
Yeah. According to...
Is he Kelsey Grammer?
So Horizon, an American Saga...
Does a lot of shows.
It'll premiere in 2 parts. Chapter 1 on June 28th, and then Chapter 2 on August 16th. But this Kevin Costner Horizon American Saga, that is the project that allegedly Costner walked away from Yellowstone to do, and now the fans are just begging him to come on, finish Yellowstone, go back to Yellowstone, and bring it to a conclusion or a finale.
Why can't they shoot him? Why can't they have Alec Baldwin do a cameo and shoot Kevin Costner in Yellowstone?
On Yellowstone.
No.
Yeah.
Shoot him on the set of Yellowstone to bring an end to his character.
Hey, speaking of Alec Baldwin, it came out yesterday that he's going to face trial this summer. So you have... what's the latest? I haven't seen any news on the armorer. What's her name? Gutierrez Reed? Hannah Gutierrez Reed? Yeah, she's the armorer that apparently allowed live, real ammunition on the set, in which you had Alec Baldwin pick up that old Colt 45 and, shoot the assistant director and the cinematographer. He got a bullet through the shoulder, and she ended up dead. Awful story.
I think the trial's beginning for her.
Well, her trial is on.
Okay.
Yeah. So jury selection was last week. Her trial is on, and I saw yesterday that Alec Baldwin is going to stand trial this summer, and it looks like, as of now, scheduling the jury selection for Alec Baldwin's new revived charges of involuntary manslaughter. That's set to begin July 9th.
So I just found something that says safety seemed to be secondary. That's what one of the grips told the courtroom about Hannah Gutierrez Reed's work, I should say.
But also what's coming out is allegedly she and others were smoking pot the night before, or that they were partying a lot on the set. Then there was also, remember, this is going to come out, there was a report. Fester, look this up. Sure. Look up the Hannah Gutierrez, type in cocaine.
Oh, she passed off cocaine after the shooting.
There was a report that she had a bag of coke.
Yeah, that came out last year.
Yeah, that she handed off to someone knowing that she would be under serious scrutiny as the armorer on the set. And there was a report last year that she handed a bag with cocaine to somebody on the set to say, hey, you got to get rid of this for me. Well, do you have the headline?
Yeah.
Hannah Gutierrez Reed transferred a small bag of cocaine after returning from police interview on day of Russ' fatal shooting, court documents say. Yeah, this is from last summer. So, yeah, I don't think things are going to turn out well for her. I mean, you had one job to do to make sure that the set was safe with the prop guns. I mean, live ammunition, to have live ammo mixed with dummy rounds on a movie shoot, that is unheard of. You shouldn't have live ammunition within 10 freaking miles of a movie set.
The Law and Crime channel on YouTube just released both depositions. You can watch them. Alec Baldwin and whatever the lady is.
Yeah, Hannah Gutierrez-Reed. Just a total mess. All right, anything else before we get out of here today?
Roxanne, is there anything else before we leave today?
Yeah.
Daviana wants to say something. She just heard something.
Hey, Daviana.
Oh, hey, Daviana. You want to comment on cocaine?
Yeah. No. How about like somebody getting shot?
We were just talking about that.
We were talking about somebody just getting shot on the set of Rust? Yeah.
No, she audited something different. What did you hear?
A bad word.
You heard a bad word?
What's a bad word?
What word did you hear? You tell.
No,
Daviana, you tell.
You can't say it.
Why not? I give you permission. Uncle MJ says you can say the word. What bad word did you hear on the MJ Morning Show?
You can say it.
You can say it. You can say it.
It starts with a D.
What did you hear?
Dummy.
Yep.
Dummy.
Oh, dummy?
Yeah,
dummy.
MJ is a dummy.
Oh, do you ever call your little sister or, I'm sorry, your big sister? You ever call your big sister a dummy? No? You get in trouble for that, right? Hey, so today's your mommy's birthday, right? Say
yes.
Say it out loud.
Say happy birthday, mommy.
Happy birthday, Mommy.
There you go.
Oh, she's so cute.
Look at that. It's fantastic.
Very good.
Adorables.
Yeah.
Come by anytime. We love having you.
All right. Hey, you're going to have like a mommy-daughter birthday day today, right?
Yay.
And your older sister had a meltdown. Yeah, over this.
Is she mad about that?
Yeah.
Hey, remember when you're out with Mommy, you secure the keys. Okay?
Right. You're the designated driver, okay?
I need you to drive. Can you drive home today,
Exactly.
Daviana?
While you're out to lunch with Mom and she's putting down these mimosas, you got to drive, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Excellent. All right. So, Roxanne, happy birthday today. Hope you have a nice time with your daughter. Where Dig Dug didn't come in, just dumped off your kid and left?
Yeah, he had to run.
It was a tot drop.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was a tot drop.
It was. 9:45, folks. Let's give away some tickets right now. On the way out, we've got tickets for Train with Oreo Speedwagon. We'll go with caller number 35. If you're caller 35 right now, you got tickets. Train and Oreo Speedwagon will be in town, Mid-Florida Credit Union Amphitheater on Tuesday, August 20th. Caller 35, 800-990-1047. Good luck from the MJ Morning Show here on Q105. Folks, have a great day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow, and let's be careful out there.